I gotta get it right. Stay still, Wolfie. Look, the Wolfie has bunny ears. I'm giving Wolfie bunny ears. The Wolfie has bunny ears. This is how we start the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's always how you start a show. Giving Wolfie bunny ears. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Weekend Case Review, live from the gallery. I am your lone wolf Oozle. We have some really good cases coming up. I don't know how many of you have seen what I have prepared already, because I have noticed, sure everybody else has, that CourtTube is just passing these cases out like Skittles. Speaking of Skittles, the chat. These cases are not really like bunnies hopping in the woods. They're more like rabid freaking raccoons digging through your garbage. But they're interesting. And they're going to be a long walk through, especially with Webster. So let's get our coffee ready. Let's get ourselves prepared for a long review with Webster and her absconding squatter. Not to mention the wife of the Army soft sit. I think we get a little bit of a peek into what bent the Army soft sit's mind. There's a lot to unpack there. And then we have the last half of the Fleischer Forum that we started last night, which would be about an hour and 45 minutes of business from the Fleischer Friday docket. We're going to start that docket call off answering the question of what happened with the guy who drove off with the hose attached to his car. Find out if he got malicious mischief for that nonsense. We'll see. It left us on a pretty good cliffhanger. For now, the next 55 minutes, bring you Judge Webster. Some of the most disgruntled people I've seen in a while.
Good morning. We are on the record. We are on the record in the 13th Judicial District, the District Court of Greenwood County, Kansas. This is our Friday, October 25th, 2024 traffic docket. First on my list is Kristen Carter. Is Kristen Carter here?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Thank you. We are on the record in 2024 TR 204, State of Kansas versus Kristen Colleen Carter. Please announce appearances.
May it please the court, the state appears by Jill Gillette, County Attorney.
And Ms. Carter, you appear in person and without counsel, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And we are here on a diversion or status review. Ms. Carter, I believe you were planning to look into diversion. Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
And did you apply?
I did apply, and I was to make my $100 first payment, and I failed to do so. I couldn't come up with the funds. My husband passed August 2nd, and unfortunately, any funds that I did receive went to funeral arrangements and different things of that sort. So I was told just to come to court and see what we could do, I guess.
So your husband passed August 2nd?
Yes, ma'am.
So that was the last day we were in court as well. Did you know that?
I don't believe so.
We had a diversion status conference. Oh, I'm sorry, you failed to appear that day. But Mr. Dean did tell me he had sent you the agreement in treatment. So you called after court. It says you called after court. You told us you were in treatment and didn't get the Zoom link. And we told you the next hearing date and told you to call the county attorney's office as soon as possible about your diversion application. And
Mhm.
that was about 11:45 in the morning. So did your husband pass after that?
He passed at 4 o'clock that afternoon. I didn't know I had anything to do with court on that day.
All right, well, it says you called in. I'm not sure why we have the confusion, but
I don't even remember calling in on that. I don't remember any affiliation that day with any type of court.
do you remember being in treatment?
That was a Friday. No, I was not in treatment at that time. I was at the Oxford Living Home.
Well,
He committed, sorry.
I don't know. All I can tell you is that I showed that we had a court hearing, you didn't appear, and then what else I had said rather than repeat it all. So what are your intentions concerning these charges at this time?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, Your Honor. I have gotten my tags, I have gotten my insurance, and I have gotten registration. Everything is legal on the car now. And I do have proof of that. And I can email anything as well.
Well, my question was, what do you intend to do? Do you intend to enter a plea continue your plea of not guilty? Do you intend to plead no contest, or do you intend to plead,
I plead guilty, Your Honor. I did it. I mean, I didn't have tags. It was my fault.
are you wanting to talk to an attorney about this before you proceed further, or are you waiving your right to an attorney? And I would remind you, if you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed.
I'd rather proceed. I've overcome a lot of barriers. I've been sober since April 17th. Sorry, I'm really nervous.
This,
I've been sober since April 17th of this year, and so I just want everything to go behind me. So,
all right. If you want to continue your not guilty plea, you can see if the county attorney would give you any extensions in your application. If you
okay.
think you'll be able to afford the fees anytime in the near future.
I am working. I actually have 2 jobs. I just started a new one yesterday, and I get paid on the 6th. So I think that, I mean, if that's in my best interest, I could go continue with the diversion.
Well, I'm not in a position to determine what is in your best interest or not. And I am not in a position to determine anything about your diversion. That's strictly between you and
Okay.
Ms. Gillette and her office. But I could give you a little bit of more time to see if the county attorney would give you some leeway in that completion date. And I can't speak for them. They may or they may not.
Right.
But I could offer you one final continuance for that.
If I plead guilty, is it just paying fines or
Well, if you
what?
plead guilty, let's see, you're looking at insurance, you're looking at registration, that's a misdemeanor, unclassified.
Mhm.
Liability insurance is a B misdemeanor, and not carrying your license and have it available when the officer asks for it is, I believe, a C misdemeanor or unclassified. They do carry jail time sentences. Probation is usually granted, but I can't tell you your sentence or what it is or is not before it's determined.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and contact their office then and see if they want to continue with the diversion.
Ms. Gillette, do you have any objection to that procedure, continuing it and giving her time to call?
Judge, we've been working on this diversion for a long time and it hasn't happened. I don't know that I want to continue on with having the diversion process. She's had failures to appear and other issues.
Okay.
If she wants an attorney to work out the case, that's fine. If she prefers to plea on it, my position and recommendation is going to be to set up a payment plan for her and that she can get her payments in, and there might be some underlying jail time recommendations for probation, but I think that setting her up a payment plan that's stretched out over 12 months is probably better than trying to make her do the diversion payments very quickly.
Right. So, Miss Carter, it sounds like there's no point in continuing it, so you can talk to the county attorney about it, extending diversion. This is the county attorney, and she's determined she's not going to grant you diversion.
Okay, I understand.
So, and then she's told you that if you plead today, she'll recommend probation with a payment plan so that you wouldn't actually serve any jail time unless, of course, you violate your diversion, your probation.
Okay,
Do you want to waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself, as you said before?
yeah, I'll go ahead with it.
All right. And do you feel like anyone's making you give up your right to an attorney?
No,
Okay. You're doing this freely and voluntarily on your own choice.
yes,
All right. Then I would ask that the record, including the journal entry and the docket notes, reflect that you've waived attorney.
okay. And Your Honor,
Yes.
I have a case in Butler County with you, and I wanted to bring that up. I hope that it's okay. I missed the last court date there. I apologize. It's my fault. Things have just been kind of rocky. I have a warrant out in Butler County. I'm 3 hours from there. I have not turned myself in, to be honest, because for one, I mean, I have my kids now, and they're under my roof. I'm taking care of them on my own, my health conditions, and I haven't had time to turn myself in, and I've honestly been a little hesitant about it. So I don't know how you feel about that or what I can do with
Well,
that.
what you can do is contact the sheriff, either the Butler County or the sheriff local to you, wherever you are. You can turn yourself in, and then you can post any bond that may be set in that case. But that's what I would tell anybody. But I can't take that case up, even though I may be the judge on that. I'm in a different court setting. They're both part of the 13th Judicial District, and that's how I come to be judge on both. But on that
Okay,
one,
so what do you,
I would just tell you to turn yourself in on that. What kind of charges are they?
it's just for no tags.
No tags only?
I believe so. It might be no tags and no insurance.
Do you have an attorney over there?
I don't. And you have a no bond hold on it.
How do you know all this?
My bondsman, and he's on live right now. Chris,
Your bondsman is here on this docket? Who's your
he's here.
bondsman?
Chris, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Florio?
Yeah,
Mr. Florio, are you here? I'm looking for Chris Florio, bail bondsman.
he said he would be. I don't.
So you have a bail bondsman that knows you've got an active warrant and has not turned you in or told you to turn yourself in, but he's told you what the bond conditions are. Tyson, are you here on that case?
No, that's a different bondsman, Your Honor.
Sometimes they've been covering for each other lately. So Tyson, are you here on that case for the other bondsman?
No, Your Honor, I'm not affiliated with Florio.
Well, that's good for you. But at this moment, that's good for you.
All right.
Because I have a real difficult situation. The bondsmen know they've got a warrant out and they don't turn them in. They just tell them, well, you've got a no bond hold. It's almost like you're aiding when that happens. It's almost like the bondsman is aiding them in avoiding the warrant.
Well, I'm 3 hours away. I don't know. The car, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't even know how to get up there to turn myself
Gillette,
in.
what is your recommendation, knowing that she has an active warrant for failure to appear in another jurisdiction and her bondsman's helping hide her from us apparently?
Well, she needs to get herself turned in, whether she turns herself in where she's at or she comes here and turns herself in. The best thing to do is to get herself turned in so she can resolve.
Do you
With our
want to proceed
case,
with this case? What do you want to do on this one?
I don't have
Your
a warrant
recommendation,
on.
Paul.
I don't have a warrant on her, and we can proceed with our case, but she does need to get turned in for Butler County because Butler County will want to get their case turned in too. Since she hasn't missed since the failure to appear a while back, where she was in the Oxford House. She would have the ability to, I mean, I can't ask for a warrant in my case because she's not failed on my case.
Okay, well, I
But
just didn't know
she's-
if you were comfortable with your offer a while ago with an active warrant. And it sounds like you are okay to do that as long as she gets herself turned in Butler County. So, Ms. Carter, let's keep those two cases, those two counties separate.
Okay,
At
sorry.
this time, how do you plead to, I've already shown that you have waived your right to counsel on the record knowingly and voluntarily. How do you plead to count one, operating a motor vehicle in Greenwood County, Kansas on April 15th, 2024 without proper registration or tag?
Guilty.
You're admitting that you did do the act charged?
Yes.
How do you plead on count two, operating without liability insurance?
Guilty.
And that was on the same day and same time that you drove
Yes,
without
Your Honor.
insurance? Okay. How about you had a driver's license apparently issued, but you weren't carrying it while you were driving?
Correct. Guilty.
All right, so you plead guilty to all three of those. Is anyone making you enter these pleas of guilty today by any threats or promises?
No.
And do you understand that you do have the right to trial on each of these, but if I accept your plea, you will have waived that right and you cannot change your mind later on?
Yes.
All right, and you want to waive your right to trial?
Yes.
And you won't be able to appeal that conviction that you received because of this plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I will accept the pleas of guilty as knowingly and voluntarily made. And where were you doing this driving?
I was headed back to go to rehab from El Dorado to here.
So where did the officer stop you?
I don't know the specific location. It was almost to Fredonia, I want to say. I don't remember, like by Flint Hills, like the
Fredonia is not in my jurisdiction, but the officer, Stephen Michelson, says that he was operating a marked Greenwood County patrol vehicle with equipped with a red light and sirens, etc. He was stationed on Highway 400 at mile
Right.
marker 332 facing west, which is within an active KDOT construction zone, monitoring traffic when he observed a blue four-door Chrysler sedan traveling westbound pass him without a vehicle registration or tag affixed to the rear of the vehicle. So, Ms. Gillette, I trust mile marker 332 is in our county.
It is your-
And were you driving a four-door Chrysler sedan at that time?
yes.
Okay. And looks like it didn't take him too long to catch up with you. So I will, and you said there was no tag or insurance and you didn't have your license.
No, I had my license. I couldn't find it.
Okay, you didn't have it with you to give to him when he asked for it.
Correct.
Okay. I will accept your, not only your pleas as knowing and voluntary, but also that a factual basis and jurisdiction exists. I would find you guilty of counts 1, 2, and 3. And Ms. Gillette, the state's recommendation for sentencing, please.
Here, the no insurance count, which is count, I believe, 2. It carries a mandatory $300 fine. The no vehicle registration carries a fine. In this case, since she's back current and has paid for the registration, I would ask for the minimal fee of $50. And for the no DL in possession, I again would ask for a minimal fine. The all of them can carry jail time, but the no proof of insurance, we're supposed to issue jail time at least on it. So I would ask for a 90-day underlying sentence, run 30 days on the other two, run them all concurrent to each other, and suspend them for 12 months probation. She'll need court cost and her fines. There's a booking fee because she was booked in. There is a request for $17.93 for restitution from the sheriff's office for medical services provided or done on this case.
Who received the medical? Was it her or one of them?
Yes, it was for Miss Carter. So it's $17.93. The county received a write-off on a good chunk of the medical bill. So we only had to pay $17.93 to them. And so I would ask for that to be included and to set her up on a payment plan. And for her to get herself turned in over in Butler County as a condition of her probation.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say before I determine what your sentence will be, Ms. Carter? You don't have to say anything further, but you can if you want.
No,
Now, you mentioned that you have 3 children living with you now?
I have 2.
2, and were they living with their father prior to his passing?
No. You might know him. His name was Andrew Henry. You probably remember in previous cases you had with us. He committed suicide in Butler
Okay, and you were
in El Dorado County, and that's why I haven't wanted to turn myself in either, because I don't want it.
okay. Well, let's okay, so were the
Sorry.
2 of you living together at the time, or other than the fact that you were in treatment?
I left him to go to treatment, and then I brought him here to get clean, and we were on our way to, I was on my way to take him to rehab, and we got pulled over, and he had a warrant out of El Dorado.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
when he got there, he killed himself 2 days later
Okay, did he do that in jail or at home?
in jail. He hung
Okay.
himself in your jail, and that's why I
Okay,
don't
well,
want to
who
go
has
to
the, okay, so you've gone through some, definitely gone through some things, as you said. Where are the children?
They're with me. I got them back. They
How
were
did
never
you-
out of my custody, but
Well, how did you get the children back if you were in treatment? Did you leave treatment when he died?
right. No, so Lafayette was my treatment, and I left them July 21st, and I went to Oxford. It's sober living. After Oxford, I got my kids. I lived there for about maybe not even a month.
Well,
And I
tell
got
me
my,
this, what I want to know is, did you
Sorry.
leave Oxford House early?
yes,
And your children, who was taking care of the children while he was in jail?
my mom was taking care of the kids
Okay.
while I was in Oxford.
Okay, so mom took care of the kids, now you've got them back, you're taking care of them yourself, and you live in what town? You said you're 3 hours away, what town is that?
Joplin, Missouri.
Okay, so you're in Joplin.
Yeah,
Okay, is that where your mom lives too?
yeah,
Is that where you're from?
yeah.
Okay. And you said you're working 2 jobs, where do you work?
I work for a cleaning company, and then I work for the Joint Chiropractic,
Okay,
and I started there 2 days ago.
okay, and does
So I'm
mom take
scared
care
to
of the,
lose my job.
does mom take care of the kids while you work?
No, they're old enough to stay home. I have a 15-year-old and a 11-year-old. They'll be 12 and 16.
You might think about counseling for them if you haven't, because boy, they've
They've
got,
started.
Okay, because they've gone probably more than you have with all of this.
It's been terrible.
I can imagine. They probably can't imagine, but I can imagine it's been
And
terrible.
they're so scared for me to turn myself in.
Okay, well, I can understand all of that because they've seen a lot. Their parents have put them through a lot, no doubt.
Yeah, we did.
All right, so on
So I
this
don't know what
case,
to do with that, Judge.
all right, well, the first thing you do is get them in counseling, get yourself in counseling and do what they tell you to. Uh, and then there's also something called family preservation services that you can voluntarily request. Ms. Gillette, she can request family pres, can't she?
Oh yeah, they even have it over where she's at.
Because I'm thinking to keep your children from being put in state's custody with all they've gone through, you might ask them to help you and they can give you all kinds of direction. They deal with families like this because at the rate you're going, I'm surprised those kids aren't in state's custody, frankly. Have you talked to anybody from DCF or family preservation?
No, I haven't. And they had a steady home with my mom.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we lost our home and everything. I
Who
believe you
will do
remember
that?
we were evicted, and then after that, I started using drugs because I have a brain tumor, and that was my way to cope because I couldn't get anything to help the pain. But my sober date is August 16th, and I had never used drugs previous. I was only on drugs for about a year, almost 2 years actually. But now I'm clean. I'm back to where I'm good. My kids are good. I got a house.
Well, your kids may be better now than what you've seen them, but keep in mind, your drug
Yeah,
use, dad's drug use, your arrest, dad's suicide. That
it's
is
been
just,
hard.
you keep those kids in counseling and you make sure that they're talk to their school, let their school know what's going on so that,
I have.
okay.
I'm just worried about the warrant and Butler.
Well, you better be worried about those kids first and foremost, but all right, let's get on with the business at hand here, which it all
Thank you for your
interplays.
advice.
It all plays together. One affects the other. They're like dominoes. All right, so on count one, as the state recommended, a $50 fine, a 30, and that fine could be up to $2,500. So think about that next
Thank you.
time you're in a bind with your tag. $50 fine. I'm going to give you a 30-day sentence, but it will be suspended provided you're successful on probation, and we'll talk about that a little bit more shortly.
Okay.
Count two, I'm going to follow the state's recommendation of a minimum fine that's required by law of $300 for driving without insurance. That's just the first time. If you do it again, it goes up.
Right.
90-day sentence instead of the possible 6-month. And then on count three, this is probably a lower fine than I've ever gone, but I'm going to go with $25 fine and a 30-day sentence suspended concurrent. Your court costs will be $108, booking fee $45, restitution to the Greenwood County Sheriff $17.93.
Okay.
And then you're going to have what's called a supervision fee of $60.
Okay.
And the reason that you're going to have a supervision fee is I am going with the recommendation for 12 months probation, but with everything you have on the table here, I'm going to recommend I'm going to order that be 12 months reporting probation. You will need to call as soon as this hearing is over to the 13th Judicial District Probation Office, 316-322-4153. I understand that you live in Joplin, but they can work with you on whether you have to report in person, by Zoom, by mail, whether they can transfer that out of state, I don't know. Even though you just crossed the border, it's still out of state.
Okay.
But that will be for your probation officer and you to talk about and for them to direct you on, maybe a combination of all of those options.
Okay.
You will have a fair amount of money to pay. I am going to order that you pay 1/12 of the total due, at least 1/12 each month. Your first payment will be due November 25th,
Okay.
and then you'll have a 12th due on the 25th day of each month thereafter.
Okay.
If you can pay more, do that. If you can't, pay at
Yeah.
least the minimum. I'm going to order that you turn yourself in on that Butler County warrant. And I'm not going to change the no bond hold, because when I give you no bond hold, it means because I've had a problem with your attendance or something. Now, I can understand the children's fears and your apprehension, but it's something that they probably taught you in rehab. You have to face the consequences of your addiction and you have to deal with them. But you'll probably, with that,
How long will I be in jail? I mean, if I don't
I
have a,
can't say for sure, but
Ugh,
I would think that if you turn yourself in on the weekend, you'll see one of the judges over there at 1:30 on probably a Monday. And then they will probably either modify the bond or set you on Judge Lee's expedited docket, because mine is so crowded over there, I wouldn't see you until January. So we're not going to let you sit in jail that long. They'll probably get you on Judge Lee's docket or grant you a bond. But the problem with that is, until you turn yourself in, there's not much we can do about it.
right.
And,
I'm gonna lose my job. Okay.
well, we don't want you to lose your job.
Judge,
I work on the weekend.
Hold on, Ms.
Judge,
Gillette.
I'm just assuming you adopted the fines that I recommended.
I did. I adopted your recommendations for sentencing. Plus the
And
provision
are you
fee.
ordering the restitution for 1793? Are you ordering that?
I ordered it. I ordered everything you asked for, plus the $60 supervision fee. So we have 1793 restitution to the sheriff, $60 supervision fee, 45 booking fee, 108 court costs, $50 on count 1 plus 30 days, 300 on count 2 plus 90 days concurrent, $25 on count 3 plus 30 days concurrent, and of that, a 12th of that. Oh,
Somebody clicked on whiteboard.
I see that. I was trying to figure out if I did that, but I don't know how to do that, so I don't think I did. Missy, do you know how to get rid of that? About that, Miss Gillette?
Nope, I just wanted to make sure it was clear on the journal entry for her and that we would split that up into 12 months.
And would you please put in the journal entry, she's to call probation and report by phone immediately after this hearing. And I have given the number 316-322-4153, because I understand even though this is a Greenwood case, they all start at that main number.
Yes, and I wrote that down.
Contact the clerk. No. I will revisit that when I get back into my Butler County docket. I will revisit that. Why don't you? And I don't like doing it this way, but if you contact Butler County later today, I'll see if I can maybe find a docket to put you on and work with you some on that warrant over there.
Oh my God.
Well, don't get your hopes up. I'm just saying maybe. But who was that bondsman that knows you're wanted and told you what the no bond hold was? You said that, was
Chris?
that Ron Florio that did that?
It's Chris.
Chris Florio did that.
And I've been in contact with him. Maybe that's why I don't know. I don't
Well,
want you
it
to.
is, you know what? We don't let bondsmen sign up in this jurisdiction for the purpose of hiding people from us. It's to turn them in. And I just had this conversation with a bondsman, I think last week. Don't do that. If you're gonna do
Is
that.
he
don't even
supposed
take
to
us-
come get me, or is that what they're
Yeah, he's
supposed
supposed to get you to us one way or the other, but that, we've got a lot going on here, so.
to? Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. You just did what your bondsman told you. Um,
Oh, I don't want him mad.
make sure Missy knows how to get a hold of you. Missy, do you have her contact, her Zoom, whatever?
Can I give you my phone number too, Missy? It's updated.
Yeah, don't put it over the internet. Just send it to Missy. Give her your,
Okay.
Everything else on
Okay.
here.
make sure Missy knows how to get a hold of you. And make sure probation knows how to get a hold of you. All right, moving on. Ms. Gillette, is there anything else we need to address in this case?
I can't think of anything else on her, Your Honor.
All right, all standard conditions. Sign all documents necessary between your treatment and Oxford House and court services. Anything they need you to sign so they can freely communicate to make sure you're staying off the drugs.
Absolutely.
And tell them where you work and anything they need you to sign.
Okay.
Because they're here to help you be successful, but you've got to do the work yourself.
I understand 100%.
Stay clean, stay sober, follow all
I
of the
will.
rules. You're gonna go over standard rules. Okay, that being said, do you have any questions, Ms. Carter?
I don't believe so.
Okay, and you know how to contact the clerk at Butler County?
Yeah. Is it Lori?
She's with
Is
the
that her-
sheriff's office.
Is that her name?
That's who
Laura?
you can, if you're gonna turn yourself into the sheriff, you call Lori.
Okay.
You can also turn yourself into your sheriff down there in Joplin, and he can notify Butler County that they have you, that you've turned yourself in.
And then they'll come get me here.
Well, they can come get you, or they will just, yeah, you can go to their office and just turn yourself in, and they will have to come get you.
Okay. And you said to call the clerk later this afternoon?
Right. Well, you can call the clerk anytime, but I won't be able to address your case until later this afternoon or Monday. Because I'm
Okay.
typing in court all day. Okay, I'm going to let you go, Ms. Carter, because I think I have I have a lot of cases left today, so I'm gonna let you go.
All right. Well, have a good day, and
Thank you, and I hope
thank you
this
for
time-
your advice, and thank you for everything.
Well, I pretty much have given you orders, but I did give you some direction. I'm not really here to advise as much as but I do give you
Right.
good thinking, hopefully. All right, Ms. Carter, you're excused at this time.
Thank you. Have a good day, Judge.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Have a good day, Missy.
All right. So let's move on. All right, I'm looking for a Johnson. Do I have a Johnson?
Yes, you do. I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, but you're not the Johnson I was looking for, but I will take your case up. I have a couple. I have a Danny Johnson, and well, don't I have her on here? Oh, she's Stasha Carter. Do you go by Johnson also?
Okay, so I'm here for Danny Johnson.
Oh, are you the attorney?
I'm a representative for him.
What does that
And
mean?
that means I'm his wife, and we sent
Okay, are you an
documentation.
attorney?
I'm an attorney, in fact.
You're not an attorney at law?
No.
Okay. So when
So-
you say
so
you're an
Mr.
attorney, in
Johnson-
fact, you're not an attorney, but you're here on his behalf as a citizen. Is that
No, I'm
right?
not a citizen. I'm not a citizen.
What
But
are you?
Let me state for the record, Mr. Johnson is under doctor's care. He's in recovery. We sent the documentation over to the courts to show that, to show proof of that. We also reserve our rights to any and all reproduction or distributing of videos on social media platform. And we request the matter to be rescheduled at a later time when he can get through his recovery period.
All right, Mr. Johnson failed to appear at his first appearance, February 27, 2024. August 13th, 2024, he appeared. We took formal first appearance. He entered a not guilty plea. Actually, he objected, I think, to just about everything that we did. He was argumentative, disrespectful, interfered with court proceedings. I believe he
I
was.
object, Your Honor. I think he was
Stop.
just.
Stop.
He was.
You don't have any standing here today, Miss Carter, because you're not his lawyer. You're not him.
I'm not Miss Carter. I'm not Miss Carter.
Then why does your screen say Sasha Carter?
That's what it says, but I'm not Miss Carter. And it says
Who are
Sasha.
you? Who are you? Before I disconnect you from these proceedings, because you don't have standing to be here. What's your name?
Well, again, Mr. Johnson is under doctor's
Do
care.
you want to
Mr.
tell me
Johnson is
your
here.
name?
He's here. I've already gave you my name, ma'am. I'm his
Well, then
wife.
say it
I'm
again,
Miss
because I
Johnson.
must have missed it. What's your
Miss
name?
Johnson. Miss Johnson.
What's your first name?
Nicole.
How do you spell that, please?
Nicole.
Nicole Johnson. And you said you're his wife. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. That's correct.
You're his legal wife. Okay. Now, if you'll let me continue, and if you won't, then we'll have to remove you from the proceedings. On August 13th, 2024, he became, as I said, argumentative, disrespectful, and interfered with the court proceedings. I found him in contempt. He was arrested and he was to serve 24 hours in jail. And then, as I recall, the military put a hold on him, and because of whatever reasons, he served more than 24 hours. But he was told to be back here September 27. And on September 27th, there was an issue that he either was or was not receiving medical service. And he wanted a continuance, and we ultimately continued it to today. Now, that's been a month ago. And you say he's still under doctor's care and can't be here today, or is that, what were you trying to explain there?
What I was expressing, ma'am, is that he was in surgery on the day of the court date. He had
30 days
actual
ago,
surgery.
he was in surgery. Okay.
Correct. The doctor put him under doctor's orders to stay on bed rest. And that's where he's currently residing at, on bed rest. And we sent in the documentation to the courts and the doctor. The doctor notified the courts that he's not to appear because he can't travel and he can't fly due to his surgery.
And we've made it clear to him that he can appear by Zoom. So I'm going to issue a bench warrant, bond forfeiture.
Hold on one second, ma'am, because he is here. He can hear you, but it's
put him on here.
Oh, he's on here, but he's in a recovery bed, ma'am, and it's a violation of his rights, his HIPAA rights, to be shown and be broadcasted all across social media as far as
bench warrant, bond forfeiture, no bond, hold.
Ms. Webster.
Oh, now do you want to be on here, sir?
Well, I'm first of all,
are you voluntarily appearing, Mr. Johnson?
No, under duress.
I'm not
okay, I'm not duressing you at all. You don't have to be here.
Can I speak, please? I just want to let you know I'm on a series of medication that alter my I'm on a medication that I'm supposed to be on bed rest from my procedures for the next 8 weeks and for the following 8 weeks, and then I'm supposed to start my recovery. But I have reached out to the courts. I have had the hospital reach out to the courts in reference to my procedure and my process. I have requested a continuation. I have also sent in letters to request evidence from the case to continue the case prior to these procedures that I have not got a response back. So
Certified mail.
I sent it out registered mail that the courts received, I think on the 23rd, in requesting evidence of the case to continue prior to my surgery, but having the surgeon
It's an unforeseen circumstance.
Ma'am, I want you out of the case now. You're not his lawyer. He's talking, he's representing
Ma'am, the
himself.
creator.
You're out.
The creator made me his wife, and
I will find you in contempt of court.
Ma'am,
Stop talking, Miss Johnson.
Okay.
Now,
So
both of you stop for just a moment. Miss Gillette, you haven't had a chance to say anything on this. Do you wish to be heard?
because you're acting like the attorney.
I'm acting like the court and you owe me $50, ma'am, for contempt. And if you have another outburst, it's going to go up and it will be enforced. $50 direct contempt by Nicole Johnson for her interruption of the proceedings. Ms. Gillette, do you wish to be heard?
Good luck with that.
Ms. Gillette?
Sorry, I was making notes, Your Honor. In this matter, there have been lots of issues with Mr. Johnson. There is a letter here. I don't know if it came directly to my office or through the court. It's through the court because it was filed in the court file of
All right, so when
his-
you say through the court, you mean it went to the clerk?
It went to the clerk
Okay.
and was file stamped. There
And it
is
may or may not have made its way to my office, but if it has, I haven't seen it. For the record, go ahead, please.
there is a note from September 25th, 24. His other hearing would have been the 27th. Asking he be excused. We've had lots of issues with Mr. Johnson in the past. I am taking into consideration that he has provided a doctor's note and information about
Okay.
that
But
visit.
that was the last hearing. What do you have, if anything, for today from the doctor?
That was received. It was file stamped 9/27. I don't know if he's recovering or not. I can't tell you anything about that. So if he is on medication, Judge, I don't want to have anything substantive unless he's not taking pain meds. So I would move it over to November for him to be here, present, and he needs to understand that attorneys can speak for individuals, but not family members unless there's some
You
sort of.
won't be released in November, ma'am.
ma'am. Ms.
So-
$100 fine or for contempt against Ms. Johnson?
Your
Okay,
Honor,
now,
the
Mr.
court.
Carter, you may speak. Yes, sir. Now, if you're
Ma'am, do you even know who you're talking to, ma'am? Because you calling all these names. Which name, who are you speaking to?
you told me your name was Nicole Johnson. I'm speaking.
Correct. So
to you.
you calling Carter, and I expressed to you that nobody's here is Carter.
Well, don't have to put Carter on your screen if you're not Carter.
Ma'am, we made the point to be here in court today, ma'am.
You
And that's under
stop
the
talking.
unforeseen circumstance. He's still
All
here.
right, I'm going to end this talk. This court is
over.
over. Bench warrant, if you don't stop and get out of it. If you don't want this bench warrant, you be out of this conversation and let
Ma'am.
me communicate with the defendant.
Ma'am,
Obviously,
there's no
Mr. Carter
defendant.
doesn't have any
He hasn't been
control over
convicted
you.
of anything.
Okay, Mr. Carter, I'm gonna have to end this court because the woman won't shut up. And I'm gonna have to leave a bench warrant. If you can get her to shut up and stay out of the conversation, you and I, sir, can have a hearing. Now. Okay. How much time do you need this continued, Mr. Carter?
Okay.
The doctor can send over the information.
I would request.
Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry, Missy, can you get that?
Hey,
Carter out of here?
hey, I'm trying to explain to you. The doctor told me it's going to be 3 to 6 months for my recovery.
3 to 6
So
months for your
I
recovery.
had a T10, T11 procedure. So it's a middle back procedure. Like I said, I haven't even started physical therapy yet.
Do
So
you have an attorney, or would you be willing to take a court-appointed
I,
attorney?
as far as the attorney, all I would coming to do is, because I'm on medication, I don't want the court hold anything against me that I may say due to the type of medication I'm on. And
I
two is the
understand.
fact that I am requesting a continuation. I know y'all saying I've been whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm requesting a continuation at least to December, late December or January.
All right, we're gonna set this over for trial. It'll be for bench trial. And what the doctor told you, you'd be in recovery for how long?
I mean, 3 to 6 months for
Okay, so this
recovery.
is October, November, December, January. I will continue this. Missy, what do we have mid to late January?
January. Very ethical.
Is that month that is really challenging?
Yeah, but we do have January 31st at 11 available.
All right, January 30th first will be your bench trial. Now, did I understand that someone did receive something from his doctor today or recently? Ms. Gillette, you were talking about something from a month ago.
What time?
Yes, it was filed September 27th. It said he had surgery.
Yeah,
And it was an
we
excuse for the
continued
27th.
that hearing based on that letter. We continued it to today. But has anybody seen anything more recently?
No,
I think the wife was reading something that said he couldn't travel, but I don't think it said anything about appearing by Zoom. I think it just said he couldn't travel or appear in that fashion. But that's what we need to make sure come January, that the doctor understands this can all be done by Zoom. And again, Mr. Johnson, would you consider appointment of an attorney to represent you?
Not at this moment, Your Honor. Like I said, I'm on medication.
Well, an attorney could sure help you navigate through this court system. I understand you wanted to represent yourself, but the attorney could sure help you.
I don't need an attorney at this moment.
All right, we'll document that for the record, Ms. Gillette, in the journal entry, that he still does not want an attorney. That we are continuing this again at the defendant's request for medical reasons to January 31st, 11 a.m. Now that's going to be for bench trial, so keep that in mind. The state will have their witnesses ready, and if you have any witnesses, you'll need to have them ready. Hopefully, you won't be under medications January 31st or in any situation that's going to affect that. But I won't issue the bench warrant. Nicole Johnson does owe me $100, or she owes the court $100. I'm going to give her 10 days to pay that. If she doesn't pay it, then she's going to face more contempt. That payment needs to be paid, Ms. Johnson, to the clerk of the district court. And that is in Eureka, Kansas at 311 North Main. And make sure you put on there contempt for case number GW 2024 TR22. And put on there that it's for payment for direct contempt of Nicole Johnson for continued, well, you won't have to put on there other than for contempt, but I do want the rest of it put in the journal entry, Ms. Gillette.
Well, if somebody tries to defend themselves, it's contempt. Or exercise their rights, it's contempt.
Ma'am, you don't have any rights in this hearing today.
I do, I'm not a citizen, ma'am.
I don't care what you consider yourself. You do not have any right to come into any court of law and start interrupting and delaying the procedures and
Well-
absolutely deliberately and intentionally disobeying what the court instructs you.
Ma'am, I called the county attorney yesterday. I called the clerk
I
yesterday.
am going to
expressed to
tell
them-
you to stop talking one more time before I.
I
order
know, because you don't want me to express my rights.
This
My
is not
rights.
your hearing. This is not about you. I really
Well,
hate
you're
to
making
have
it
to
about
send
me,
the
ma'am.
sheriff to
You're
whatever
making it about me.
state you're
You have
in.
not, you have not given no lawful consideration to this matter,
Mr.
ma'am.
Johnson.
He's under doctor's care. He has provided all the documentation to show that he's under the doctor's care, ma'am, and you have not given no consideration to that.
You are so fortunate that
Jeanette.
you're not here in person, or you'd be locked up right now.
Yeah, I am
And
fortunate.
Mr.
Thank you.
Johnson
God
will
give
be
me
locked up
fortune.
if
God
he
give
is
me
not
that. My
here
Creator
in
give me.
person. Mr. Johnson is ordered to appear in person for bench trial, January 31st, 11 a.m. Ms.
Yeah,
Carter,
because you want to retaliate against
Okay.
him, don't you?
Ms. Carter now owes $200 in fines, and I'm disconnecting this call so I don't have to send the Greenwood County Sheriff to whatever
Yeah.
state she's in to get her picked up and locked up for contempt. This
Ha,
court
ha,
hearing
ha.
is adjourned.
Ma'am, every time
Missing-
somebody expresses their lawful rights to defend themselves, you hold them in contempt. Why is that? You are a judge. You are compelled to provide protection for we the people. You acting as an attorney, giving advice to people, talking, bringing people down, and he's in a situation to where he's under doctor's orders. It's a shame that you still wanted him to present himself under the doctor's orders of bed rest and medication before the court.
Put the camera on yourself
so
when
you
you
can
talk to me,
extort
Ms.
them,
Carter
and you
or
can
Ms.
spread it out
Johnson.
across social media, and you can talk down on them, and you can make money off of it because you go and you spread it, and then you get up all
Hey,
these views.
put
and
the
then
camera
people
on yourself
think-
if you want to
think-
tell me off, Ms. Johnson.
I can put the camera where I want to. That's my legal
All
right,
right.
ma'am.
You are to appear. I will send the orders for you to appear personally because you're going to serve some time for this disrespect. Ms.
It's
Johnson,
disrespect with what you having him do
Missy,
on camera under the
disconnect her.
circumstances.
This court hearing is adjourned.
Yeah, disconnect yourself because you're unlawful.
All right. We will move on.
That happened. So we'll have to keep an eye out for any further appearances. That was extremely interesting, wasn't it, Mom? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're at that point in the show where time to finish the docket from yesterday. Make sure you have your tea, your coffee, your crumpets, whatever you want to snack on. No matter what else, you need your Skittles. Time for Fleischer. We'll start off with our cliffhanger from yesterday.
12, Perez.
But Nathan, of course, I'd like to help you so he doesn't lose a job. I just don't know if it's possible. If it is, I'll acquiesce to you.
Understood, Judge.
Yeah, okay. Joe Perez.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Mr. Perez, you're charged with criminal mischief. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or bless you. Up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On August 23rd of 2024, officers were dispatched to a Chevron gas station in Harris County, Texas, in reference to criminal mischief. Officers made contact with the complaining witness, who stated that the defendant was at pump 2 and complained that his card was not working. The complaining witness stated he went outside with the defendant and saw that 25 cents had been pumped, then the transaction was canceled. CW told the defendant that he would have to use the card again to start another transaction. The defendant became irritated and the complaining witness made his way back into the store. The defendant followed him into the store, asked for $30 on pump 2, went out to his motor vehicle and began to pump gas. The defendant entered the motor vehicle with the pump still attached. $30 had been completed on the pump, then the defendant left without attempting to remove the pump, causing the pump and the hose to be separated from the in-ground meter. There were $500 in damages.
Did he mean to do it or was it an accident? Because remember, This is a specific intent crime. You didn't tell me anything that he's like upset to where he intentionally took off with the device.
I understand, Judge.
You
I'm
know?
just reading based on what the offense report said, it says the complaining witness did not see him even attempt to remove the pump.
I know, but people forget, you know, you're busy, you get this, like, you know, accidents happen, right? But if you're telling me that he's like flipping it off, giving him the bird, yelling at him, and then he just, but I don't see the intent.
Let me see if there's anything more. I pulled up the offense report.
There's no rush, take your time. And if you want, we can come back and do this a little bit later so we can do everything else and then give you more time. You want to do that?
I'm looking through it, Judge, and I don't see that. We can come back to it.
Okay, sir, I'm just gonna have you take a seat. I'm gonna do a deeper dive in your case, just to see if there is probable cause. If you just don't mind, please take a seat in the jury box, and we'll come back.
I say something?
No, don't.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You have
sir.
the right to remain silent, exercise the right, please.
Judge, can we revisit page?
Yes, okay, yes, thank you. Hey, Michael, I need your help on this. So, as we all know, criminal mischief is a specific intent crime, right? The facts, as we read this criminal mischief, I don't see intent. I may be wrong, but what I see is that I have a gentleman, he gets kind of frustrated that the thing is not working correctly. I guess the pump. So he goes in, pays $30 for prepaid gas, goes out, pumps the gas, and takes off. And I guess in thereby ripping the thing. But is it a mistake? Did he specifically intend to do that? Tell me, what do you?
One moment, Judge.
Take your time. The way I read it, I thought it was a mistake. I'm gonna order it regardless. I know that. I'm gonna order it regardless. If they comply, they.
I understand. Okay, that's why I wanted to make sure.
But I'm out like right before we leave,
No problem.
and then I'm gonna order him extra scram. And I'm gonna admonish him that if he ever does it, again, I'll keep him for real.
I was just asking to roll my paperwork's done just in case.
Judge, I don't see anything per the DIMS nor the offense report that connects specific intent to this defendant.
What was it again? What was your last name again?
Perez, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Perez, I'm gonna find that there's no probable cause to go forward with the case. Understand that this means that I just didn't think that there was intent to rise up for a crime. Whether they come after you still for that, who knows, but
Following dismissal, Judge.
thanks. If you want to go ahead, well, they're gonna dismiss the case now, so you're free to go, okay? Just,
With this bond, I had a cash bond, so
I don't know.
that's for Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Go back and if you want, we can give you a copy of the dismissal here shortly.
Yes, sir, please.
Page 15, Sanchez.
Are you- Valerie Sanchez, Ms. Sanchez, you're charged with forgery of a financial instrument between $750 to $2,500. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am. Okay.
The complaining witness informed officer that between June 6th, 2022 to June 7th, 2022, 3 different people cashed checks from the same company called Shah Airport Hotel, Sheraton, North Houston. The reportee stated he attempted to contact the number on the check to verify, but it wasn't working, so he did not allow one of the checks to be cashed. The reportee then stated that after he attempted to contact the number on the check, he decided to drive to the business located at 15700 John F. Kennedy Boulevard. And once he was on location, he talked to an unknown representative from the business who advised the reportee that the people who cashed the checks do not work for the business. The first offender was identified as Jonathan Garcia. No other information was available besides an address. The second offender was identified as Valerie Sanchez, the defendant here, and the last offender was identified as Mason Chiovaro. Offender Garcia cashed a check for $729. Offender Sanchez cashed a check on this date for $969. And on June 7th, 2022, the third offender cashed a check for $969.58.
This is interesting
Yes, Judge.
because she's charged with forgery, yet the facts are is that she's cashing a check, right?
It
Did
seems,
did she get the money? Because
it seems as though she did. It does say that it was cash, so. I think they have. The document itself, the checks themselves are forged, Judge.
right. So essentially what she's charged with is, it says here, did then and there unlawfully with intent to defraud and harm, forge the writing duplicated attached hereto as Exhibit A, which purported to be the act of another who did not authorize that act by possessing with intent to utter and while knowing it was forged. How do we know that she forged it? We know that she is in possession of it. We know that she tried to negotiate. I get, and I successfully negotiated the check, right? But is part of the claim that she actually forged it?
So I don't give you any incorrect information.
Looks like it's an offense that needs multiple actions to it. You need to forge, you also need to negotiate, right? We've got the negotiation, but do we have the forgery? And I mean, I guess this is going to take more time, so why don't we put it aside, blow through everything else, and then we'll come back to it. Ma'am, I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box. We'll come back to you. We're putting it to the side for now. Let's move on, and then we'll give them time.
Page 18, Washington, come on up.
Good morning, Mr. Washington. Mr. Washington, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
It's loading. I'm so sorry. Okay.
It's all right. Not a big deal.
On October 18th, 2024, officers were dispatched to Metro's Texas Medical Transit Center regarding a subject known to have an active service suspension on the property. Once on scene, officer was advised that the defendant was near the Beach Nut Route Road bus stop. As officer approached the bus stop, he recognized the defendant from a photo poster advising that the defendant was not allowed to be on Metro property or utilize services. The defendant was issued a one-year suspension on August 24th, 2024, due to his recurring criminal acts along the transit system. Officer confirmed the service suspension was still active.
So he's using Metro when they've forbidden him from using it.
He's forbidden from using Metro. I did speak to the arresting officer the other day, and he sent me all the trespass warnings as well as the audio ones as well.
So there were prior trespass warnings.
There were, Judge, yes.
All right, Mr. Washington, I'm gonna find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Don't use the Metro, man, okay? Would you like me to appoint you a lawyer today? Okay, we'll do that. I'll have you talk to a lawyer. Just don't go anywhere. And do not leave until you sign our bond conditions, okay? All right. Can you file those conditions? Using, yeah.
Also, I have not spoken to the officer on this one yet.
There's another Metro case?
There is another Metro.
Really? Okay.
Hey, Judge, I'm ready on the forgery if you're willing to do that.
Okay, come up.
Yes.
So Judge, the issue in this case is what the definition of forge means. So I'm just going to cite to you the penal code definition of forgery, which is section 3221. And for purposes of that section, to forge means to alter, make complete, or execute or authenticate any writing. And subsection C says the definition of forge is just to possess a writing that is forged within the meaning of paragraph A. So to execute that
Negotiation of that.
is forgery, Judge.
Sanchez, I'm gonna find if there's probable cause to go forward with your case. What bank was this at? I guess what we'll do is no contact with the actual company in question. And no contact with the complaining witnesses. If you can file that. Ms. Sanchez, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with either the company or any of the complaining witnesses in this case. If you violate these conditions, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. So is there a co-defendant?
There were two co-defendants.
Can I have the cause numbers? Because maybe it gets moved.
So one of them,
Two co-defendants, Sanchez.
so their names, one of them is Jonathan Garcia, the other is Mason Chiobaro. Cause number on Garcia is, sorry, Judge, I'm having to scroll. He has some other pending felonies as well. Okay, it's 2414675.
Okay. Really? That's
And on Mason Chiobaro. Again, Judge, I'm sorry, I'm having to scroll down.
so it's a way early cause number. And it's in 3.
He has several forgery ones. I'm trying to figure out which one is ours. I
Is it
think it's,
transferred anyway?
I think it's 1779119. He has several forgery. That's what I'm trying to figure out. It might be with felony because he has other felonies.
Is Giovanni, is that the other one?
Mason Giovanni, yes.
Yeah, they charged him with a felony forgery.
Yeah, I think they, because it's also the file date's different too.
Okay, yeah, I think it goes to 3. All right, ma'am, your case gets transferred to court 3, so we're gonna start working on that now. And then we're gonna create a transfer order, and then you're gonna head on now to court 3. Okay, so just take a seat for me, but don't leave, man.
I was trying to confirm that too.
Counsel, you ready?
Good morning, Judge.
Nice, come on up.
Yes, sir.
morning.
Good morning, Judge. You know, we were told to be here on a violation of a bond.
Hey, who's your guy?
It's Mr. Alfredo Campos, Judge.
Come up, Mr. Oh, does he speak Spanish?
He speaks English, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Campos, come up.
Yes, sir. No, sir. I understand.
Why are you here?
Violation bond,
Why?
drinking alcohol,
What did we tell you to do?
to not drink and drive.
No. I told you not to consume alcohol. What are you doing?
Drinking alcohol, sir.
What happens now?
Sure.
Guess. There you go. Goes with you.
All right, come on this way.
I don't need your ball.
Scare him for a little bit. What I'll do is I'll scram on his ankle so I know that he's not consuming. And then the next time though, he's stable. No. So what I'll do is I'll put the scram on him now. I'll let him out in about 2.5 hours. Put the scram on him. But if he tests positive for alcohol again, I'm gonna keep him out. I don't care. Okay. Yeah, you can keep that setting. Okay. For sure. So what I'll do is when we. No. Well, then that defeats the entire purpose, you know? Yeah, absolutely, of course.
Good morning, Your Honor. May I approach? I'm here on Shantavia Peavy, Your Honor.
It's on docket?
No, Your Honor, this is off docket. I do have a cause number.
Please.
250-1872. And she's here in court, Your Honor, if you'd like me to call her up.
Can you say that again? It was 25.
Yeah, 250-1872.
She's on probation already?
Yes, Your Honor. I did speak to counsel for the state earlier this morning. Your Honor, what we would like to respectfully request of the court, my client is 5 months pregnant, and we were respectfully requesting the court if you would reconsider possibly eliminating the requirement of the 45-day rehab, Your Honor, due to the fact that she is currently 5 months pregnant.
I mean, that's what they recommend, you know? Come up, Miss Peavy.
I can print it here. Council for reset.
How far along are you?
5 months.
She's consuming alcohol while she's while pregnant.
How?
You're 5 months pregnant. You have positive alcohol usage on August 3rd.
No.
Am I reading Mandarin? I mean,
That's
right?
according to the device, yes, sir.
The device says that you're drinking.
There was hand sanitizer at my job, which I emailed my probation officer that day. It's not alcohol. That's why they took me out the register and put me on the floor to where I won't be around anything that consume alcohol, which is the hand sanitizer at my job. And I let my probation officer know.
Sanitizer dissipates in a matter of a second. Once you put it on and you're done like this, it dissipates in a matter of seconds.
But they write down all the registers and stuff. I have not consumed any alcohol at all.
Not what this report says. Not only does this report say that you're consuming alcohol, you have excessive skips while you're on probation as well. You.
Your Honor,
Hold on a second, hold on. Okay, so April 4th, skip test. April 16th, skip test. April 18th, skip test. April 24th, skip test. April 25th, skip test. April 29th, May 2nd, May 15th, May 19th, May 22nd, June 2nd, June 4th, June 8th, June 9th, June 13th, June 16th, June 23rd, June 25th, June 26th, June 30th, July 2nd, 5th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 15, 16, 18, and it goes on and it goes on as the day is long.
I was here on the 11th. I seen you on the 11th. We had court. And I said, I work at the register, and I explained to my manager that I had to step away from the register to blow into my device. So as soon as they understood that I'm on a case to where I had to step away from the register, then they had allowed to me, because I have 3 hours of window to blow into my device. So I had got that handled, which I told my probation officer as well. So I allowed my manager to understand to where I could keep my job, to where she can move me to a different department, to where I won't keep leaving from the register to go blow into my device, so I will not be late.
Not only are you allegedly skipping, not only are you allegedly consuming alcohol, but you also have a prior DWI, felony DWI with a child from a year and a half ago.
Drug test, not passed all my drug tests, so I'm just impossible, because I have, and you can go to, and they took my blood test and my doctors as well too. So I have not consumed any alcohol during my pregnancy or before my pregnancy. And when I stood before you on July 11th, I have not took any alcohol at all. That's the honest truth. And I saw you on the July 11th. And then after that, when I had found out I was pregnant, they took my blood and everything. I have not consumed any liquid of alcohol down my throat.
We have clinicians that evaluate you to determine what the best course of action going forward on this probation is. They've deemed, after doing all their research, that the best way moving forward is to put you into a residential treatment program. I like to follow the advice of the clinicians because they know what they're talking about. Not only, are they saying this, but you're also providing us with evidence as to why it's a good idea. You're saying you're not consuming, but I have concrete evidence that you are, and I have dozens of skip tests when you're not supposed to be skipping.
What
I
day that
know.
was when they said I consume alcohol? Because that's the day that I emailed my lawyer that day, and I was at work.
It's not a negotiation. That's what they're recommending, and I think that it's a good idea.
So that means I go 45 days, I lose my job, I lose my apartment, I lose my kids, might end up having a miscarriage because I'm there for 45 days for something that I did not do. That's the reason why I'm back, because I have not.
So just the only other thing I could offer is maybe Santa Maria. Have the clinicians considered that? Did they know she was pregnant?
The recommendation was a community residential program followed by social care. So,
They didn't recommend Santa Maria. Did they know she was pregnant?
What's the difference of Santa Maria
It's
versus?
an outpatient drug residential facility treatment center for pregnant females. It's only pregnant females. She can get a bed there reserved for her, but they have to accept her into the program. It's common in felony with pregnant women, but I don't know what it's like here in misdemeanor, if they even offer the Santa Maria Hospital, but it's supposed to help pregnant women.
Are you married?
No.
Who's taking care of the other kids?
Me.
You don't have any other person in your life?
My boyfriend, but I mean.
Okay, so,
after that-
so you currently live with your boyfriend?
Mhm.
So he's got, you know, possession of the apartment, I would imagine as well. So you're not going to lose your apartment.
Almost in my name, not his.
Okay, I mean, as long as the rent is being paid, you know, but my concern is that you're not consuming alcohol, especially while pregnant, because if you do, you're ensuring a lifelong potential problem with that child. I have evidence here that you're consuming alcohol. I have evidence here that you're refusing to blow into the machine like you're supposed to. And that's why we do these. Recommend.
I'm so
I
sorry.
know that you don't like it, but I'm
No,
sorry.
because I can't just stand here and just, I can understand the skill part, but the actually consuming, drinking alcohol, I can't stand here. And that's on everything I love. I have not consumed any alcohol since you put me on probation. Since we had this last conversation, I have not put a risk.
To prove to you the otherwise.
Germans have alcohol in there. So it's like y'all saying that I actually took a cup. I actually put it to my mouth and I actually drunk the alcohol while I'm pregnant. I can't stand here and let that go by and feel like that's okay. Because I knew I have not. And I emailed my probation officer when it happened, when it violated on my device. I'm just national guy. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to give them understanding.
I understand that you're upset.
I literally emailed her when the device was violated, when it said violation. I was at work on lunch trying to catch it before 8 o'clock. And that's when it said violation. So I'm trying to figure out, we have hand sanitizer everywhere on the registers. So that's where it came from. It have not come from no alcohol.
It's not hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer doesn't go into the actual tube that you blow into. I mean,
Your
I'm
Honor,
sorry if you.
Your Honor, would you consider if she meets the requirements for this Santa Maria outpatient?
Of course.
Would you be?
Oh, outpatient?
Yes, Your Honor. In light of the fact, like.
She's been on probation. We've given her the opportunity to do it on her own. And you're not doing it. So that's why we have this now as the alternative. And I always tell everybody, look, I will give you the opportunity to try it yourself. If you're unable to do it, then we're going to do it my way. And I know that you're not going to like it, but that's the reality. The reality is that we don't want you to consume alcohol, especially while you're pregnant. And I've got evidence to the otherwise. And so the only way is to do it our way. I know you don't like it, and I'm sorry, but that's the reality.
Your Honor, if I may, can I have the date that you say that she tested positive for?
Here, I'll give everything to you. If you want more time to take a look at it, just you guys hang tight, go take a look, and we can come back in up here and talk. Don't leave. Otherwise, I'm going to issue a warrant.
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay.
Come on up. Page 3.
Victoria, what was the name?
Castillo.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like we had more Spanish stuff that we need.
Buenos días.
You, Christian Castillo.
Yes.
Mr. Castillo, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Officers were dispatched to an apartment complex in Harris County, Texas, in response to a stolen vehicle. The complaining witness stated that her vehicle had been stolen while parked in front of her apartment complex. While the officer was speaking to the complaining witness, an anonymous male rode up on a bicycle and told this complaining witness and officer that the vehicle was parked at a business next door and that someone was sleeping inside of it. Officer approached the vehicle and found defendant asleep in the back seat. Defendant stated that he was not inside of the vehicle and did not know whose vehicle it was. Officer observed that the rear.
You say he didn't know that he was inside of the vehicle?
Well, he said he was not inside of a vehicle and didn't know whose vehicle it was. That didn't talk about. Officer observed that the rear window was broken, that certain items not in the defendant's possession were missing, and that there was damage to the steering column and ignition.
Mr. Castillo, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Are you a United States citizen?
No.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
Tengo un parol de un año.
I have a 1-year parole.
You're here on an asylum case.
Sí.
Yes.
I don't know if you are or not, and quite frankly, it really doesn't matter. The only thing I'm going to impart to you is that whatever your immigration status is, if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail, and immigration finds you because they sweep it on a daily basis every couple hours. If they find you, they will put an immigration detainer on you and you will remain in custody until this case is over with. And then you will be shipped off to immigration and you will probably sit in immigration for another 6 to 9 months waiting for them to do whatever they're going to do. If you do not want that to happen, do not violate any of the conditions I put on you now. Do you understand?
Yes.
How old are you, sir?
¿Cuántos años tiene?
34 años.
34 years old.
What do you do for a living?
¿Y en qué se dedica?
Ahorita estoy trabajando en una compañía de yarda.
Right now I'm working in a landscaping company.
Where do you live?
¿Dónde vive?
Vivo en la 4101 Chaica.
Do you have an actual house or
Tiene una dirección
Pasadena.
en Pasadena.
do you live in an actual house or
Vive
an
en una
apartment?
casa o apartamento.
Un apartamento.
Apartment.
That's where you must stay.
Ahí es donde
Other
usted tiene
people's
que quedarse,
cars
los
is
carros
not
de otras
a good
personas
place
no
for you to
es un
stay.
lugar para que usted
And I'm ordering you
se
now as a
aloje.
condition of your bond not to do anything like this in the future, not to break any laws. If I find that you violate this, you pick up any new cases, go into anyone else's car in an unauthorized manner, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds to get you out for free.
Para salir de gratis.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Do not violate any laws. Do not pick up any new cases. Do not go into anyone else's car for any reason. If you need to find a place to sleep, you can, not in someone else's car.
Pero no dentro de del carro de otra persona.
Do you have an income, Mr. Castillo?
¿Ingreso, señor Castillo?
¿Cómo ingreso?
What do you mean income?
Do you make money? Do you have money coming in somehow?
¿Entra de alguna manera?
No.
No.
How do you eat?
¿Cómo come?
No trabajando ahí en la compañía de yarda.
Working at the landscaping company.
Okay, so you make money working at the
Entonces gana
place?
dinero trabajando ahí.
Sí.
Yes.
How much money do you make a month?
¿Cómo cuánto dinero gana al mes?
Ahorita estoy ganando 2,400.
I'm earning 2,400 right now.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
¿Tiene la habilidad de contratar a un abogado ahorita?
Yo creo que no.
I don't think so.
I will have you fill out an application for me, and I will take a look at what kind of income, what kind of expenses that you have. I need to know everything about you before I appoint your lawyer. And if you qualify, I will give you a lawyer today. But I want you to understand that I'm going to do everything in my power to protect every person and every person's property in this county. And if you violate any of that, into jail, you will go. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna get, there should be a Spanish one. Maybe Isabel. Okay, all right. Can you file conditions to that effect, please? Just no breaking into anyone's cars, no going into anyone's house unauthorized, no weapons. Francisco Negrete. Mr. Negrete, you're charged with racing on a highway. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On October 20th, 2024, officer observed two motor vehicles traveling on West Grand Parkway in Harris County, Texas. Officer observed the motor vehicles positioned side by side, slow to pace, then one motor vehicle sped off excessively, then slowed to a speed where both motor vehicles were side by side. The officer observed this on 3 occasions. Officer observed both motor vehicles come to a stop at an intersection, roll down the windows, and appear to communicate. Officer observed both motor vehicles rev their engines and speed off excessively when the light changed. A traffic stop was initiated and one motor vehicle sped off. Officer made contact with the defendant. The defendant stated he did not know the driver of the other motor vehicle. He intentionally placed the motor vehicle side by side with the other motor vehicle and stated we were rolling when asked about the purpose of the position. The defendant stated they wanted to find out which car could go faster. And he has an eligible driver's license.
Do you have any kind of indication as to how fast they were going?
Yes, sir.
Were they?
I'm looking, Judge.
Estoy buscando.
Checking to see if we have the offense report yet, but it doesn't say it in the DIP.
Resumen.
Mr. Negrete.
It doesn't say, Judge, I'm sorry.
Mr. Negrete, I'm going to find it probable cause to go forward with your case. I am now putting a condition on your bond not to participate in any racing, street takeovers, donuts, reckless driving. If I find that you do this again, I will take away your privilege to drive. Do you understand? Shh. Living in a city as big as Houston without the ability to drive is an awful thing. Do you understand there are proper places to do this? 610 or 59 or the tollway, that's not the right place. It's now a condition of your bond. Do you understand? Are you a citizen of the United States? Are you in this country with or without permission?
With permission.
I don't know if you are or not, but if you go to jail and you're not in this country with permission, or if it's expired and immigration finds you, they will put an immigration detainer on you and you will be stuck in custody until the case is over with and then shipped off to immigration. Do you understand?
Yes.
Can you file those conditions, no racing and et cetera? We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So first I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. Oh, wait a second. You have a Texas driver license?
Yes.
Do you have liability insurance in your name?
Yes.
Okay, you said you ran a license?
Yeah, it's eligible, Judge.
Okay. So I'm going to have you sign a reset. Victoria, we'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it and then we'll send you on your way. When you come back, please have a lawyer.
Right this way.
Wonderful. Okay,
Judge, good morning.
Abel, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I feel your pain.
It's not over yet either.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Close.
It's more close.
Amy,
Good morning, Judge
Hey,
Fleischer.
good
We're
morning.
approaching off docket on Craig Rutherford.
okay, you need an extension?
Yeah, it's every day.
I know. No extension before?
No.
One, you got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Abel, good job voting.
Of course, Judge. Have a good day.
Mr. Monks.
Your Honor, a pleasure and a privilege. I'm here today on Christina Martinez. First of all, I wish I could make that coat work for me.
Good.
I wish I could, you know what I'm saying? I can't.
Well, let me tell you, we're not very impressed with Miss Martinez, I guess, huh? Is she here?
Well, they are semi-impressed.
At her?
Yes.
Come up, Miss Martinez.
The district attorney has recommended that they extend it, with your permission, 3 months to prove and demonstrate that she can comply with the requirement. She's done everything else. She didn't ever test positive. She just had
Just
three
didn't test.
skips and 6 late. That's where she's at. And the CLO was kind enough to give me that information. I asked her if that was her hat over there. She said no.
It's my hat.
Okay.
Yes, so that he's correct. She's completed all of her required classes. She's current on her fees, so she's averaging 4 to 15 skips per month. So they wanted to extend her for 3 months.
She'll have to get a scram. But I will give it to you. She's gonna have to get a scram device so we know. No more skips. Now you must get a scram device, ma'am, so that we know that you're not consuming alcohol. We can't trust you with the device anymore. So we're gonna order you to get a scram device, and then we'll give you the 3-month extension. If you test positive, it's over.
Do I return the device that I have currently? Or how does that?
I mean, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
And Your Honor, may it please the court, she's in school. She's a college student right now. That's a pretty significant expense. Do you think we might be able to either waive it?
I can if I would. I don't know if I can. I don't think so.
I also have other cases on top.
What do you mean,
Domestic.
other cases on top?
My ex-partner assaulted me in February, so I'm also dealing with that. And CPS, he assaulted one of my kids this past August. So I'm also dealing with
You
those
separated from this person, or you know?
Yes, no, we're separated. I have a protection order now.
Just stay away. And, you know, it's not the end of the world, but you have to understand that when you have an open case, you know, your partner will use it against you as leverage in CPS cases, in divorce cases, in custody cases, and that's what they do. So you got to be careful. Don't give anybody leverage so that they can use it against you. You know, this is the opportunity that you have, and it's a very great opportunity, because if you complete it, the case gets dismissed, and now you're here because you have violations. I'm going to tell you now, it's no tolerance.
No, may it please the court. Could we, and I understand it's expensive to get that device. Could we set it for, say, if she gets it and then in a month, see how she's doing? Because I mean, she's just struggling as it is.
I'll have it with you. Half the time, a month and a half.
Okay.
No skips. She's doing well. We'll come back. She'll have to have the other device.
Okay.
Right? And then I'm down with that, Mike.
Thank you
But
very much.
like I said, any positives, and I don't care what it is, there's absolutely no tolerance now. I will not give you anything positive, I will not reset your case anymore, and I'll immediately set your case for trial. You understand? There's just no excuse. If you need to find an outlet, if you are, you know, having a rough time with life in general, there are other releases that you can use. Alcohol is not a good one.
And as I said, she has to modify her behavior so that she tests within the period of time. I mean, they're not indicating so far that she's tested positive. She just.
Oh, we don't have blows to prove it. And that's
I understand that, and that's all the evidence we got.
when you don't test, we make assumptions, and the assumption is that you're drinking, and that's why you don't want to test.
Some of those, I can say that there was a couple of them that were late, not on time, but I did late because my sleep schedule has been off due to college and dealing with, you know, the cases.
The judge he's made the decision.
Don't have to
We
say
have to have it for 45 days.
You don't, we make assumptions and
So where does she go to get that? Okay,
so Mike, halfway, she's good, then we'll.
thank you. You have a great day.
Thank
All
you.
right.
6 weeks, Judge? 6 weeks?
Mike, do you want to just do a 6-week reset then?
Yes, sir.
Instead of like,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
done. Mr. Lopez,
Good morning, Judge.
what do we owe the honor of El Famoso Arnold Lopez?
Oh, Judge,
I mean, really?
you're the famous one.
No, it's you.
My son sends me videos of you from Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Really?
No, I had a person reach out to us from Israel yesterday. I was like, wow, crazy, huh?
You're famous.
No, whatever.
When I told my dad I was starting in this court, he was like, Judge Fleischer, I've been watching him. So my dad has been watching you apparently for a few months.
Yeah, yeah.
Judge,
Who
he's
you got?
seen me on it.
Judge, I'm on, well, actually, one of my lawyers is on,
It's a bond violation. right?
yes, Judge, but we reached an agreement. But only, can we reset it for a week or so, so I can get the lawyer to come?
What's the name?
Pedro Morales Velasco. It's just that I have another pressing issue going on.
Morales. Hey, I don't, is it, I don't,
Yeah.
So
We used to.
is it under Velasco?
Just a week or so, Judge.
I've had a lot of problems with this guy, man.
But you won't have any,
He's now blowing positive. He's drinking.
you won't have any problems anymore, Judge.
Come up. Velasco Morales.
He's also a Spanish speaker, Your Honor.
We'll just go.
Let's go, because I need to get back in the box anyway.
No, hold on.
Hey, he's a Spanish speaker, so
Come on. ¿Qué te dije que no puedes hacer? ¿Qué te dije que no puedes hacer? ¿Qué hiciste? ¿Qué pasa ahora? ¿Qué pasa ahora?
en la cárcel.
Right, goes with you. No. Yo te dije.
De mi esposa. Judge, we were gonna take a plea today, after all. We had a probation plea on it. We can do it today, Judge.
But he's blowing really high. And it's nuts.
Judge, if we can possibly work it out with the,
I'm happy to do it.
let's work it out today, okay?
But, okay, we can take him now and then we'll let you, whatever you want. Yeah. Oh, Aaron,
Yes, Judge.
tell me, what you got?
Ms. Curtis is going to take the state's offer for time served.
Okay, just write it up.
She's ready to go.
Are you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ready
Ms.
when-
Nolan Kurtz, come up. I'll do it next. This is really a shame. You know, you had such a great program in the palm of your hand that if you would have completed successfully, they would have dismissed this case. I want you to understand that. I want you to understand that one day, may not be tomorrow, may not be next year, may not be a year. One day you're going to go, damn, why the hell didn't I get this thing dismissed? Because it will now reflect as a conviction on your record. From now on, you'll be facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for any cases that you pick up. And I'm also going to tell you that if you ever get pulled over and even you have the slightest smell of anything funky, you will probably pick up another DWI. And this time facing a year in custody. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I would never, even if you've had a sip of alcohol or anything, get in the car because you're taking a humongous chance. You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront, cross-examine your accusers. If you are not a citizen or a possible immigration consequence, you can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement, you can never change this or undo this. It will reflect as a conviction on your record for the rest of your life. Do you understand? How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty? It is above a 0.15, right?
Yes.
Is it true or untrue that you had above a 0.15? Give me 1 second. Your blood alcohol level was, it's true or untrue that you had a 0.15 or above?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know
Your
what it
BSC
was.
was above that number.
Okay, yes.
All right, ma'am, how do you plead to the offense?
Guilty.
Find you guilty, and I will sentence you to 3 days in jail, give you credit for the 2 days that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 180 days. Do not drive until you get a license. What do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher,
Sure.
in A-Leaf ISD.
Really?
Yeah.
It's going to impact you, man. Because you were a teacher, I will roll your court costs so you won't owe anything. Otherwise, you would be paying a $3,500 fine and fee to DPS. And if you don't pay that, you lose your license until you pay. I want you to understand that I'm doing this because you're a teacher. I'm taking away a bunch of money that you would normally owe. But I'm going to be on notice now. You come back with another DWI. The fines and fees normally add up to around $7,000, not to mention a minimum of 90 days in jail.
Okay.
We're not asking much. All we want our streets to be safe.
Yes. Understand.
Judge, to be clear, this is Ms. Nolan Kritz. This is not a 0.15 DWI, Judge, and I didn't file the plea that way. This is a Class B misdemeanor DWI.
I thought I saw that it's a 0.15.
No, my plea, Judge.
Oh, okay. So no, it's not. Thank you for telling me.
Yes, Judge.
It's not a 0.15. Disregard that. So basically what that means is from now on, it's a minimum of 30 days in jail, not 90. That's how the difference.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So how do you plead to the offense, ma'am? I'll find you guilty, sentence you to it. Good luck to you. Okay. All right, guys.
And that was an urgent suspension?
No, 180, but CC, you can run. Okay. Hello?
Page 4 and 5.
David Matthew Freeze.
Come up, Mr. Freeze.
Judge, he turned himself in to Montgomery County because he's on dual probation up there. And he went to Montgomery County, he turned himself in. And while he was in custody there, that's when the motions to adjudicate for here were filed. He did, prior to him going into custody in September 6th, he tested positive for methamphetamine.
Mr. Freeze has been testing positive for methamphetamine. And
he would test negative today if you were to test it.
And I'm sending you now for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system of you not to use. And I've repeatedly told you not to pick up theft cases, Mr. Freeze, and you're on.
He didn't pick up any theft cases, Judge. What he did is he had a motion to adjudicate in Montgomery County. He knew that. He turned himself in. He called his probation officer, told him he was turning himself in, and he had to do 180 days there. And he's no longer on probation in Montgomery County.
Can you run an NCIC on Mr. Freeze to see what, if anything, is open, please?
Yes, Judge.
This is a really sad case, Mr. Freeze.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to just move on. Like, I'm trying to go to trade school, so I'm here just trying to get this over with, to be honest with you, sir.
One reason, and one reason only, for all of the 15 to 20 theft cases that you have now. And
drugs.
He's aware.
That
He's had 11 arrests in total, Judge. The burglary of the building, that's what he had the adjudication
ma'am.
on.
Yes.
So it doesn't look like there's anything else, Judge.
So when did he pick up the burglar of the building? While he's on probation here?
No, that was before he was put on probation here.
We put him on probation in 21.
He had the burglary of the building up there prior to being put on probation here.
From what I could see, he got placed on probation in June 2nd, 2022. He picked up a possession charge on May 15th, 2021, but it wasn't filed until August 8th, 2023. And then he did the 180 days in Montgomery County for that. That's all.
You know, Mr. Freeze, let me enlighten you with something. You know, do you know who John Belushi is?
Yes, sir, I do.
John Belushi was just one of the just pinnacle actors in the 70s. And that dude was freaking a genius. And one of the biggest things that he had, and one of the biggest problems he had, was the dude partied like a freaking animal. And what he was doing was just
everything.
The kind of dope that he was doing would kill a small farm animal. You know, you, my friend, are the same way that Belushi was. And it's a matter of time before your body gives out on you and you end up in the same way. He died at what, 33 years old, right? Give or take. How old are you now?
28.
28 years old. And you're not a spring chicken anymore. And you don't look like you're in the best of shape. Your body can only put up with so much. And if you continue with the lifestyle that you've led for the past 4 years, your body is going to give out when you're 30 years old.
I can already feel it. Yes, sir.
So you need to make a complete and utter lifestyle change before you die, because you're headed the same way John Belushi is right now.
That's the road I'm trying to go down. I'm trying to change. Yes, sir.
It's mind over matter.
And I will. Yes, sir.
The other problem is that it's very tough to believe you, because when people are using, they are the best actors in the entire world. They'll sell you the sun, the moon, and the stars and tell you that the sky's purple and have you believe in it. So what you tell me goes in this year and goes out that year, because I have extensive experience with you. So Carl, what we're going to do now is I'm sending him for a drug test. Okay. I want to come back on Monday. I'm not letting you go. Not one iota. And if I have to put you in a treatment facility, I'll do it in a heartbeat to get you to stop. But you are going to stop. And if it means me keeping you on probation for another 3 years, I'm going to do it in a heartbeat.
I understand,
Do
sir.
you understand?
Yes, sir.
So I'm sending him for a drug test now. It's kind of late, so we'll come back on Monday and then we'll go and see where we head from. Are you working now?
Actually, so I have an offer letter for Monday. My first job is Monday. I could show you, or my first day of work is Monday. I have an offer letter on my phone. I could show you. So
doing what?
Cleaning pools as a repair technician. So
going to work at Pool Tech as a.
And I have official offer letter on my phone that I can provide if you need to see it. But Monday is my first day of work.
Next Friday.
Oh, no, we don't do cases on Friday. What days do you have off?
As of right now, I'm not sure, but because like I said, Monday is my first day of work, but I work Monday through Friday. But if I have to take a day off, I'll tell them.
If you're using, it's just not going to go well.
Oh, I have to pass a drug test to get this job. So I'm confident that yes, sir, I understand.
So let's do this. I'm going to set the case for Monday because I want to know what the drug test is going to show.
Okay.
If you're positive, then I'm going to need to talk to you.
Understand.
Okay. If it's negative, then I'll give it, sometime in the week that we'll need to talk to him.
Yes, sir.
You need to speak to your employer.
I'll call him as soon as I get out of here.
Have off so that you can come in and speak with us so we can.
Anybody's appearance is waived Monday.
Figure out pending the drug test. I need to
Negative,
know.
then he doesn't have to be here.
Right, for now, it's waived, depending on what the drug test says. If it's positive, I'm going to need it.
Okay.
Sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Let's see.
Hey, Craig.
Please raise your hand.
You ready?
Yes, sir. So I have Tammy Stepansky on your docket today, Judge. We had spoken.
Come up, Ms. Stepansky.
So I've talked to the state about this case and we're going to enter a plea on one of the cases, Your Honor.
Today?
Yes.
Ma'am, don't worry about it. Okay, if that's what you're planning on doing, then
Yes,
we'll
sir.
work it out
And
because
so she'll be on
otherwise.
probation for 2 years, so she'll be monitored during that time.
Wonderful.
And I've had extensive talks with her about the whole situation and how she's gonna be carefully monitored. She won't be able to do anything. She's not gonna be driving. She's willing to sign. Yes, sir. So we were gonna see if we can get a non-driving affidavit signed, so that way she can be monitored with a portable device, and stuff like that.
I'm down.
Okay, yes, sir. I'm just waiting on the forms to populate. We've been waiting for about 45 minutes. I don't know why.
Maybe
an
they
hour.
need to refile it. Is there some problem? with-
He has refiled it, he said. Okay,
I don't
so,
I mean, we can try it a third time. If not, then we can print it out and do it on paper too.
yes, sir. If y'all want to print it, then we'll do that.
However. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Hey, Val.
We're ready on Mr. Graves Hill.
Yes.
Taylor Graves Hill, Your Honor. May I bring
Graves
him
Hill,
up?
come up.
Okay.
Mr. Graves Hill, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail credit for the 1 day that you've done. You need to understand that this charge is going to go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. What we're doing today, you are now facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any cases that you pick up. Do you understand? What do you think an officer is going to do if they come up to your car, they see that you have a prior DWI, and they smell alcohol on your breath?
Assuming I'm going to jail.
And what we're doing today, you now are facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. Do you understand?
So
if I were you, I would never get in a car, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, because you're going to be back with me.
You'll never see me again.
Mm. I hear that on average, 3 times a day, 4 times a day. When someone tells me that, it goes in this ear, goes right out that ear. Actions are louder than words, Mr. Graveson. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal once you accept this agreement. Once you plead guilty, you can never change this. It will go on your record. It will be there for the rest of your life. Is this what you want to do? How do you plead to the offense, sir? I will find you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in jail, give you credit for the 1 day that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. And good luck to you.
No, we'd ask that the 90-day suspension run concurrent with any ALR suspension.
Why? Why would we reward Mr. Graves Hill with running your license when you are now before me because you have a bond violation? Why would we reward you for not doing what you say you're going to do? Not only that, your lawyer is also going to ask me to probably waive the fines and fees and surcharges in this case, which are going to amount to around $3,500. What do you do for a living, Mr. Graveson?
I install windows.
How much money do you make a month?
Minimum wage. I'm not sure the amount I make a month, but
I don't believe that for a second.
okay.
When someone tells me that they don't know how much money they make,
I think he's trying to say, Judge, it depends on work because work varies with weather and such. So he doesn't have a set amount that he makes per month. He does have 2 children as well. He has been spending a lot of money on Ubering because he's not driving right now, Judge.
Okay.
Because he doesn't, his license is suspended. And if it makes any difference to the court, I'm kind of doing this as a pro bono matter as a favor to a friend, his uncle.
this is what I'm going to do for you, Mr. Graves. So I am going to suspend your license because I want you to feel the pang of not being able to drive, because we take this extremely serious. And if you watch the news every single day, someone is dying from a DWI. But what I will do for you is I will quash the $3,500 that you would normally owe. But I want you to understand that if you come back here with the DWI, a second DWI, a subsequent you're facing up to $7,000 in fines and fees. You get one bite of the apple. Do you understand?
Sir.
I hope that you appreciate this and I hope that you understand. We're not asking for much, just safe streets.
Sir.
All right, good luck. All right, Val,
Sure,
I'll
I'll get that.
roll them all fees.
Counselor?
This is the one who I think you have a customer with the true or not true.
You did 4 victim impact panels. Why? Is Michael here? You did 4 victim impact panels in this case. Why?
For the DWI judge.
For Velasco Morales. It's a DWI, it's a 0.15 or above. And can I see that, please? Oh, I have it, I'm sorry, I have it. We have 1 year Harris County Jail, probated for 18 months, thinking for a change, 4 victim impact panels, which is there something happened in this case that's egregious?
Yes,
Tell me.
Judge, this defendant crashed into a drainage ditch and it was a very major crash. And the victim impact panels are, you know what they are. I mean, he sits in front of people that have been affected by DWI cases, intox manslaughters, things like that, where their lives have been changed forever. I mean, if this defendant, it could have easily changed into
Was
an
anyone
intox
injured in this case?
No, Judge.
I just wanted to know why.
Yeah, any crash like that, I'll always do an intensive amount of victim impact panels, always.
No, Mr. Velasquez Morales, all we want are our streets to be safe. And when you consume alcohol and when you get into a car, you have a piece of machinery that's 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. And when you hit something, you destroy whatever you hit. And when you have alcohol on board, everyone else is always the person who suffers and you never get a scratch. What we want you to understand is that we mean business. And you continuing to consume alcohol in this case tells me that either you don't care about our bond conditions or you have a true problem with alcohol that you can't stop. And I want you to understand that if you ever test positive for alcohol again, while you're on this probation, I will put you in a rehab facility in the jail. I don't care what the positive comes from. I don't care what your excuse is. No means no. And if you have a problem with alcohol, I'm going to address it for you. Do you understand? You are extremely lucky that you are not going to jail today. But that luck, it's not going to happen again. You got to imagine that if you go to jail and immigration puts a detainer on you, who's going to suffer?
My family.
Right. You got kids? If you have kids and you go to jail for 6 to 9 months, they're going to look for help for someone else. They're going to look for love and support from other people, and you might not look for and you might not like who they run to for love and support. They need you. As long as you can remain alcohol free, that's all we're asking. The agreement that you've worked out here is 1 year in jail. We will probate that for 18 months. As part of the agreement, you will do thinking for a change. You will do a DWI education class, 4 victim impact panels. You will also do a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. You must fulfill those conditions. No alcohol, no drugs, no breath test refusal, meaning that if you're pulled over in a car and an officer asks you to submit to a breath test, you must do it. A guardian interlock and a $100 donation one time to Mothers Against Drunk Driving. As long as you can comply with these conditions, you and I will be fine. But like I said, one time you test positive, you are on notice of what's going to happen. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf. confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you are not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never change this or undo this. You also need to understand that it will reflect as a conviction on your record. If you are ever pulled over in a car, an officer will see this DWI. If you smell like alcohol or dope, they will immediately take you in. Will most likely take you in, and they will be charged with a second. From now on, it's a minimum of 30 days in jail. Do you understand? I would never, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, get in a car again. How do you plead to the offense, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I will find you guilty. I will follow the agreement. What does he do for a living, Mr. Lopez?
Soldadura, soldador, welding.
Judge, would you be willing to, the state fine, would you be willing to waive?
That's why I'm asking, what does he do for a living?
He's a welder, Judge. He's been working for 3 months. I don't know, ¿cuánto? How much do you earn a week?
Ahorita estoy ganando 800, 700 bucks.
I'm earning around 800, 700 a week.
How many kids do you have?
¿Cuántos hijos tiene?
3.
Three.
And you support your
Apoya
kids?
a sus hijos.
Sí,
Yes.
viven conmigo.
They live with me.
Judge, I think 800 a week is what he makes with 3 kids, a family and household.
Trabaja ella también.
She also works.
Los dos trabajamos.
We both work.
Happy that you're doing the probation,
Estoy contento de que está haciendo
because
esto
I want to see change in your life.
en su vida.
I will tell you this, though, if you come back here with another
Regresa aquí
DWI,
con otro caso de manejo
it's now $7,000 that you're going to owe in a minimum of fines and fees. I'm happy that you're doing the probation so we can make sure that you're clean and sober. As a reward for you now, I will take that off. But you are on notice. One time you test positive into a treatment facility, you will go. Do you understand? I don't care what it is. I don't care where the alcohol came from. Hand sanitizer, tequila, lollipop, hair dye. I've heard it all, and I don't care for excuses. Do you understand? Okay. All right, CC, you can give him credit. All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Morales. All right, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You too. Mr. Mueller, good afternoon.
Yes, here for a plea for Brian Huey. He was on our
Okay.
yesterday.
Judge, Maple is a bond violation.
I know, I saw it, but he's asking today because he's out of county. I said, okay, for one day. Guys, can you bring out Mr. Huey? All right. Right. You know, Mr. Huey, we don't ask for much. We don't. All we ask you to do is show up. And when you show up, good things happen. 9 times out of 10, you get such a great offer from the state that I'm telling you, good things happen. All you have to do is show up. When you don't show up, this is what happens.
So,
I mean, really. And I'm telling you now, how old are you? 42?
yes, sir.
How old are you?
42.
Really? Wow, what a
Yes, I
guess.
am.
The hard living you're doing now, 15 years are going to pass by in a second. And if you continue with the hard living, you're going to look like a Quasimodo dude on the side of the street begging. Just, it's not going to end up well. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement today. The agreement that we have is they're going to dismiss one of the failure to IDs and you're pleading to the other one, 3 days in jail, but we will give you credit for the 5 days that you've done. So you're going to get out of here today. You got to understand that this will now reflect as a conviction on your record and you will be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases you pick up.
Sir.
Come back if you pick up a new case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I understand.
You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to test on your behalf, confront, cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you cannot change this. It will go on your record. It'll be there forever. Is this what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the offense, sir? Guilty or not guilty? I will find you guilty. I will send you to it. Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I give you a cause number? You have a cop up? Yeah, so what happened on the newest VPO? We've never even done probable cause on it.
The newest VPO, it was a traffic stop, Your Honor, and they
Together?
got IDs and she was in the vehicle with him. Yes. And the protective order is supposed to be valid until November 2024.
How bad were the assaults?
I can also tell you about that.
So was beatings or what?
No, I mean, it was pretty significant. She suffered a busted eardrum in one
Oh,
ear.
No.
And so was transported. I know, Judge, it's just one of those things where unfortunately, we have a complainant that's not cooperating and the state can't make their case, which is why we resolved it for what we resolved it for.
So did you hear what they want?
I did, Judge. We're going to be opposed based off the facts of the case.
What about the felony prosecutors? Are they?
He's not opposed. I just spoke to him about it and he said,
Okay.
I mean, clearly he's not opposed. He just did a plea bargain where he said it's fine for him to go home.
So let's do this. If you can have him come Monday, I'd like to talk to Mr. Khan.
Okay.
Minimum, I want to admonish him and then. So he's doing a 2-year probation and they reduced it to a misdemeanor?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an assault family member. So he does now have an affirmative finding of family violence, which he's never had before. So.
Yeah, if you don't mind having him come Monday, once he comes, and please let him know that it's still in effect. So if he tries to have contact with her.
Yes.
Out goes the probation, yada, yada, yada.
Yes, yes, sir. So far, he is aware that it's still in effect. So, yeah, I will. So your cases are being dismissed today, so he should be released within the next, I guess, 12 to 24 hours, hopefully. And then what I will do is reach out to him. I have a good cell phone number for him, but by Sunday to tell him he needs to be here with, I guess, either myself or his misdemeanor attorney, either one. Is that okay?
You know who it is? Yeah, of course.
Rebecca.
Oh, she's
really
good.
She's on top of it.
She is.
Yeah, I don't know, like, how y'all end up getting to get the people you get, but she's a rock star, so.
She's
very
on top of it with every single client that we've had. She's been great.
Yeah. So. Would you do me a favor, and also, would you mind emailing the DVD prosecutor on it and just letting him know, since it's gonna just. Yeah. No problem. Thank you, Judge, I appreciate you.
Hey, take care.
Have a great weekend.
Dude. Yeah, you ready?
So we've gotten all those forms filled out for Ms. Stepanski's plea, Your Honor. Did you need?
Still don't have it?
Stepanski?
Stepanski? Tell me you don't have it. I'm gonna lose it. You got it. Okay, Ms. Stepanski, come up.
And we've gone through everything.
Oh.
Interesting. Next.
All right, Ms. Stepanski,
Did we do something wrong?
No. She's saying we wait for Shatori because we usually wait for her. You ready? Okay. Ms. Stepanski, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. The reason you're before me now is because you picked up a new case and you picked up yet another possession or use of an abusable volatile. I don't even know what happened because today is the day set for arraignment on this case. What happened on the new case, if you don't mind?
Do you want me to read these?
Yeah, please, because I have not even heard it to know what happened.
Yeah. I also spoke to the witness yesterday, so I can tell you minutes.
Great.
But on October 17th of 2024, officers responded to a welfare check at the Dollar Tree located at 14324 FM 2920. A witness stated she observed the defendant inhaling from a can of multi-purpose cleaning duster and later observed the defendant slumped over on the steering wheel of her motor vehicle in the parking lot. Upon officer's arrival, officer observed the defendant sitting in the front driver's seat of her motor vehicle with the motor vehicle running in the on position. Officer also observed several cans of multi-purpose cleaning duster beside her. Officer observed the defendant to be confused and disoriented. She admitted that she had entered the office depot to purchase several cans of duster with the intent to inhale chemicals in a manner contrary to the directions, cautions, or warnings appearing on the label. And the defendant stated she did so to create or induce a condition of intoxication, hallucination, or elation. And she was found in possession of 3 10-ounce cans and 1 3.5-ounce can.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add to this?
Me, Judge? So the witness who spotted her, she had pulled into the Dollar Tree, parked there, and the defendant's motor vehicle was right next to hers, and she had noticed that it was on. So the witness, she went into the Dollar Tree, then went down to Target, did some shopping, came back an hour later and noticed that the truck was still there and still running. So she got worried, looked through the window, and she found the defendant slumped over. She stayed watching her for a while to make sure she was okay. She didn't feel comfortable driving off. That's when the witness saw her lift her head up slowly and inhale from the can. Again in front of the witness, and my witness, she told me, and then she slumped back down, and that's when the witness called 911 because she was worried about the defendant driving off in that condition.
I've spoken extensively with Ms. Stepanski about this, Your Honor.
You said the exact same thing to me when we came here the first time, and now she has a new case.
Yes. True statement, Your Honor. And
How do we get her to stop?
Well, in talking to the state, so the plea agreement that we have agreed to with the state is the maximum length of probation to 2 years of probation. So that she'll be closely monitored during that time period.
I can't monitor her 24 hours a day, though.
Yeah, but she knows that she's, subject to, random testing or urinalysis and different things.
Still not going to show. I'm forbidding you from going to any store that sells this kind of stuff. You're not to go to any Walmart. You're not going to any Home Depot.
So she's also willing to sign a no driving affidavit, Your Honor, and so only her husband would be driving her anywhere. And so I think that, her husband threatened her to divorce. This is me being frank, over this. If this ever happens again, her husband's divorcing her, is what he's told her, and is going to be closely monitoring her, and she's not driving by herself.
You realize that what you're doing is you deprive your brain of oxygen when you do this. And at some point perhaps you'll hemorrhage yourself, perhaps you'll end up brain dead, you'll incapacitate yourself, that you're going to be unable to, without the ability to speak. But you do this, and then you get out there and it happens again.
It scared me so much this time. And
I believe it. I believe it. I don't believe one iota. Nope. You sold me the same thing.
I'm currently attending NA meetings, which I will continue to attend.
I think that, like I said, the combination of her not being able to drive to be able to go get this stuff, and her husband helping to monitor that, and the enforcement of the 2 years of probation, and making sure that she knows that, she's under surveillance, that I don't think it will continue to be a problem. I think that when there's been monitoring, there hasn't been a problem. This is just me kind of pulling back the curtain here because we're entering a plea.
Sure, Haddad, how do we get it to stop?
I'm sorry, Judge, if I could just finish that thought for a second.
Look, I'm all ears.
Yes, sir.
With any recommendation as how to get it to stop, because it's not something that I can test that'll show whether someone's using or not.
Judge, at this point, I mean, I was hoping that the TRS would recommend something such as like HUA, that's like a intensive treatment made for women, that's.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
I'm thinking HUA might be a good place to put it.
Figure out where the TRS is coming from.
Right.
I think that that's the best thing that we need to do. Yeah, I think that.
But my opinion, Your Honor, is that the no driving affidavit will cover or will fix the problem. This was as soon as she started to drive, basically, it became the problem. You know, when the husband said, okay, you can drive, then she went to the store and did that. But without her being able to drive, and like I said, you know, the husband making sure that that's not happening, because again, he's not tolerating any of this.
Is the husband here?
He is not here today, but I can get him here if you'd like, Judge.
I mean, I think, Michael, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think what we need to do now, and Craig, I think what we need to do now is have our TRAS to see where we go, because we have clinicians that will be able to tell us how to tackle this problem, because I'm truly at a loss of how to get it to stop, because theoretically, this is something that you can get anywhere, right? You can have it delivered through Amazon, right? So.
Sure, but that hasn't been her MO of doing any of this. I understand you. I hear your words.
She's been able to drive.
I understand.
Right?
Well, she wasn't able to drive for a while after this happened or whatnot, and then it wasn't a problem. And then when driving resumed, then that resumed being a problem. So that's why I think
People know that for
the
sure.
no driving affidavit would fix that.
Ms. Brown?
I mean, I've explained to her that, you know, what she's signing up for, you know, is a lengthy probation. It's a 2-year probation with potential constant monitoring that whole time, plus whatever TRS conditions and every kind of help that they can, you know, help her with. And then, you know, that if she messes up in probation, that she signed up for, you know, 180 days in jail, you know, that's, you know, what she's understanding. I know that when she was in jail, she spent 3 days in jail on this new offense or whatever. And I know that that was a pretty devastating experience for her. She's, you know, 65 years old and, you know, takes a ton of medicines, which she didn't get and stuff when she was in jail. And I know that was a big deal. She's having panic attacks in jail and things. But I think the conditions that we've agreed to with the state are sufficient. I mean, I wouldn't have signed up for it.
I mean, I'd like to put on there no possession of any kind of volatile container that can be abused
That's
to get
fine.
high.
That's right.
I want, you know, no going to Home or Office Depot, Walmart. Ma'am, I want you to understand that if I find you with another of these containers, and I don't care what you're doing, where you're going, who you're with, I'm going to put you in a rehab facility in the jail. And I mean, if that's what we need to do to get you to stop, I'm going to do it in a heartbeat. Do you understand? I mean, you're killing yourself slowly. That's all that's happening. And the problem is that everyone around you is suffering. What happens if you do this in the middle of the road while you're driving? I mean, God, if you kill someone, you get charged with murder. Is that the last thing we want you to do is to spend the next 30 years of your life in prison because of a drastic and catastrophic event where you kill someone. And in that kind of stupor state, if you're in a car, you're begging for it to happen. Okay, so I guess I'd like to do the TRAS to see where we go. So what we're gonna do is I don't know how to move forward with this, Ms. Stepanski. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you evaluated by our clinicians to see what they suggest is the best way to go forward. So I'm gonna have you meet with them, and I want you to be honest, because I want to move forward in the best way possible. If you're not honest with them, you know, a motion to revoke can be filed. You know, we'll put you in custody and we'll do it next time in custody. I don't want to have to do that. So be honest in the evaluation. Be honest with yourself. You know, I'm now taking away your privilege to drive for a year. You're not allowed to drive. You're not allowed to use any kind of be in possession of any kind of container where you can get high from it. And I don't want you to go to any Office Depot. I don't want you to go Walmart or any of these places that you can also buy these from. You understand?
Sir.
It's 180 days in jail, probated for 2 years. You will do thinking for a change, a DWI education class, 2 victim impact panels, a TS, with the conditions you must fulfill: substance abuse treatment, no breath test refusal, no drugs, no alcohol, guardian interlock so that we know that you're also not consuming alcohol, and a one-time donation of $100 to Matt. Is this how you understand the agreement?
Yes, sir.
I think the max is a year, right? On the first, it's a year.
For probation.
Yeah. For license suspension, I think the max is a year. I mean, if it was 2 years, if I can do 2, I'd rather do 2 because I think that I just don't want you to go anywhere near a car until this problem has been tackled. Do you understand, ma'am? Do you have any questions?
Certainly.
You know, there are other things in life that give you that kind of rush instead of using a can. You need to find another outlet, but cans, that's not a good way to go because you're really going to sue some irreparable damage that, I mean, the last thing you need is to become a vegetable. And that's what invariably it's going to happen at one point or the other. How do you plead to the offense, Mr. Vansky? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I will find you guilty. I'll send you the agreement. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Michael, anything else, guys?
No, Judge, I've dismissed the other 2 cases.
Okay, so as a part of the agreement is this DWI, they're going to dismiss your other 2 inhalant paraphernalia cases as well, okay? All right, and wish you best of luck. We'll have you do the TRAS, and then I guess just give me a heads up when you do it, will you? And then Craig, I'm going to reach out to you so you know, when we get it back, I'll let you know what it is that way. That you know as well. They may say inpatient, I don't know.
Right, and you understand that. They could
Understand
give
that.
you inpatient treatment.
All right, ma'am.
We don't know.
Best of
Depends
luck.
on what they feel like is
See you
appropriate.
soon.
Thank you for the chance, sir.
Oh. It's up to you. You hold the keys to the jail cell, not me. Well, I do, but you also do too.
Mr.
Okay.
Vansky, you're gonna put yours on.
Mr. Freeze is back.
Oh, I don't know. Mr. Cruz, did you need something?
You're back, Mr. Freeze.
after I took the drug test.
No, we were going to let you go and,
I passed everything, but I just saying, I thought I was supposed to come back.
You want me to check for you so he doesn't have to?
hold on, I'm scared too. But, okay. Who's Mr. Freeze's name? Carl.
Yes, Carl. Carl.
Hey, Carl, let me call you right back. Don't go anywhere. I got another guy on the phone. Hold on a second, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna call you like 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Mr. Duarte,
Hi, Judge. How you doing? Good afternoon.
I didn't want to talk to your client without you, and he's out here right now. I have your lawyer on the phone now.
Okay, all right, all right. I can go in and I was just having lunch with Wayne.
No,
you know, Wayne.
stop. No.
I'm finished. I already finished. I'm getting home. I can do a Zoom, or I can just put them. You can put them on a conference call or connect them however you want to.
No, don't worry about it. I just wanted to make it known to you now. Absolutely no tolerance. I'm putting a device on your ankle that detects alcohol through your perspiration. You better know damn well anything that you put in your body, because the next time you test positive, and I don't care what it is, I will put you in jail and I'm gonna make your bond north of amazing. That's how high it's going to be. Do you understand? Absolutely no tolerance. How old are you? You're not supposed to be drinking. And now I'm also going to put a GPS monitor so you're not out in the middle of the night. Do you understand? The next time you fail me, you will stay with me. And I don't know why you got this smirk on your face because you're this close from staying with me. Have you been to jail for an extended period? You have any clue what they're going to do to you in jail? Get ready. It's not a fun ride. Do you understand?
Understand.
Okay. All right. So we'll keep you for the day that he's set for.
Okay, Judge.
And then what are you doing now? Are you in school?
I'm working. I'm not in school.
Why not? Did you graduate from high school?
Yes.
You did graduate.
Yes, I did.
Okay. I just want to make sure that you graduated from high school because if not, then we're going to work on that.
I'm
Okay.
working as of right now.
Where are you working?
I'm an electrician with Berg Global.
Great. That's great work. You know what? You can make a lot of money being an electrician, especially if you're doing it yourself. You know, really, the sky's the limit. If you do a good job, you put your heart and soul and if you're honest, be honest with your people, because if you are, your name will spread like wildfire. Because there's always a need for electricians, but you start acting like a punk and get a bunch of DWIs, you'll go nowhere. Do you understand? Okay, man, go to it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rudy.
Thank you, Judge. We appreciate it.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
roll,
Thank you.
I will take care of all the costs too, so he won't have to pay for anything,
All
okay?
right, and I had admonished him about it, and what to expect, that if he had a positive, and when he advised me last week, I'd said, well, we're just gonna go find out what the judge is gonna do, so we appreciate it, Judge.
We'll see.
And I'll talk to him this evening. Thank you,
Yeah,
Judge.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
friend. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Mr. Freeze, negative.
Come up, Mr. Freeze. Carl,
Yes,
Mr. Freeze was negative.
I mean, he said he would be.
Okay, but a lot of people tell me that. A lot of
I
people
know.
tell me I have a bunch of hair on my head. You think I believe it?
Oh, I know,
I believe it. I believe it.
You got no damn hair.
Good job, Mr. Freeze. I'm
Thank
proud
you.
of
I've been working hard, man.
That's
To be
great.
honest, so
Really, you know, I mean, I'm really proud of you. That's all you got.
hard.
It is. I know it's hard. You take it one day at a time, you know? And, you know, when you get the urge, do you have a sponsor?
Yes, sir.
Great. That's fantastic. Reach out to your sponsor. If you ever have a craving and you can't get a hold of your sponsor, reach out to me. I'll talk to you. You know, I'll give you my phone number, not my personal phone, but I'll give you the court number. And if you're here, I'll talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Hold on a second. Is it for here?
It's 8675309.
Shish.
It's Judge.
No, it's not. 30 is like the general number. You get not, isn't that? You don't get anything. at
That's
32.
our main number.
It's 8340.
No.
If you ever have the itch, call me.
Yes, sir.
I'll talk to you. If you can't get a hold of your sponsor, you know,
Sure.
but you take it one day at a time because it's gonna happen. You're gonna get the itch.
Yeah, for sure. I do. So, yes, sir.
We all do. We all get, you know, have something that happens in our life that wants to take us over the edge. But the idea is you don't let it take over, because how many times have you been in and out of jail?
A lot. And for a while, I did take over there for a minute. So, like, I worked really hard to and not be doing drugs. So, it's a huge accomplishment for me because, like, I don't know. I'll just be open. I was injecting drugs. Like, it's hard to get off that. When they say, like, it only takes one time, they're not joking. It only takes one time. So, I don't know. It's a pretty big accomplishment for me. That's why I'm emotional. So, sorry.
Out of you.
Yeah.
Really, that's a great job. I know how hard it is, especially, you know, I don't want to get too deep into the conversation. I know.
Yes, sir.
And I'm proud of you, and you're doing a good job, and just keep it up. And the next time you ever, just call me.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy to talk to you anytime, you know?
Yes, sir.
What's in the front?
This is the phone number. Okay, if you can mind giving that to him. Carl, so for now, we've got him set I'm not gonna set you off for Monday. There's no need to, right?
Yes, sir.
So. But, so I don't even, so he's on probation, right?
Yes, sir.
Where are we doing, what are we doing with the probation?
It looks like he was enrolled in SATF, he was supposed to do aftercare, but because he went to the other county. he wasn't
Okay, can we
able to.
start aftercare now?
He has to be like reinstated and all of that stuff.
I'll do it
But
now.
I can go.
I'll reinstate him right now.
Because they need to be here to.
Oh, damn it.
Does that mean I have to go back to
But I
Limac?
can give him-
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Okay.
I'll give
Doing
him-
this on the outside, so you
Yes,
can
sir.
remain, live your life, just stay clean.
Yes, sir.
If you can stay clean, we'll keep you in aftercare. It's on the outside, right? Yeah,
Okay, yes, sir.
okay, so let's do this.
I'll give him the referrals to the IOP and all that stuff so he can get started and then.
Vic, let's put it on for Monday. Carl, I let go all the prosecutors, so we don't have anyone here now to be able to get everything done. I'll put it on for Monday. I'll waive his appearance. I'm gonna reinstate him for his probation. We'll get him started in the aftercare. That way he can just continue doing what he's doing.
Right. Okay, we'll just, he doesn't have to be there Monday. We'll
No,
just have to
I'll
do the
wait.
reinstatement. Okay, cool.
Hold on.
He may need to be here, unless I sign it.
Can
now,
we
but
do-
Process it later, I don't know.
Can we do it now and just have him sign now?
That's okay. with you? Yep.
And then I'll sign it now and we'll wait for the state to sign it Monday? Is that okay?
That works for me. That's okay.
The state only needs father, all
Huh?
they need to do is father Nolly.
Right. Yeah.
We don't need the state signature on anything
What,
else.
does he have other classes that he has to do still? Like, I'm
Double
sure,
check, But I think it was just IOP and SOP.
no anti-theft?
To be honest with you,
Do you have any felony convictions now?
just one.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You gotta understand that now you pick up another felony, you could be looking at it, I mean, with all the theft convictions, you could be looking at 2 to 10 in the penitentiary.
Yes, sir. So that's the reason that's the reason I'm showing up today is because the person said, I'm trying to go to electrical school. My dad's a master electrician, so, and
Oh,
I
no.
can't get my ID without, I don't have my ID, and of course I had a warrant, so I came here trying to take care of everything so I can move forward.
Here to help.
Yes, sir.
I'll help you as much as I can. All you gotta do is stay clean for me.
Yes, sir.
Don't pick up any new theft case.
Yes, sir.
As long
I
as
can
you
do
can do that, your money.
I can do that.
He has to do effective decision making, anti-theft, and then SOP.
How much time does he have left before he expires?
Oh, wait. June 2nd, 2025.
So we got time. Okay, all right. So we'll have you sign the amended conditions now.
Yes, sir.
We gotta wait for the state to do their part, and then after that, we'll just keep you on and just
Yes,
make
sir.
us proud. That's
Sounds
all we're
good.
asking.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Freeze.
Yes, sir.
Now we're really done.
Thank you for the card. I appreciate it.
For sure, Mr. Freeze.
You can sign the order.
Great. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you bright and early Monday morning. Mods, thank you for everything. We love you. I think I said hi to all the mods. I don't know if Kathy's here or not. She's not. Guys, tell Kathy hello for me. Wait, is Trainwreck here? You know who Trainwreck is? He does a lot of stuff on the tube as well. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Have a wonderful weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the show for the day. A long one? Almost 3 hours long. Lord have mercy. I'm feeling like I might need to get a life. No, I'm just kidding. You guys rock. Everybody here rocks. I thank everybody for showing up. Keep in mind, Mondays have changed. I will probably do a little bit of showing. There will be some manning in the mix, but we will continue our fun with the Fleischer Forum as long as people are enjoying it. So that will be a thing on Monday also. Keep an eye out. I might monkey with the time a little bit. It might be at it might start at 7 Central Time like normal. It might be a little later. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I do know I have some manning. Do come by, do hang out, and I'll see y'all during the week. Keep in mind, anybody who's interested in watching the Fleischer Forum, every weekday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 Eastern Time. We're doing the Fleischer Forum where we're reviewing the day's docket, commenting on what we see. As much of it as we can get through. Fridays was particularly long. But it was interesting. I think every case we watched was interesting. A lot to learn there. Alright guys, thank you for coming out and hanging out with me. It's been a great brunch. See y'all Monday. I'm Loma Fuso. See you next time.